Now, here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
And with that, welcome to the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. Jeff, we've had a lot of great shows. A lot of great shows.
Boom, 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 all the time, baby.
But I am really excited about today's show.
You are?
I was thinking about this. It's like the NBA offseason, the free agency period, the NBA draft. I almost enjoy it more than the actual game. Is that weird?
No.
It's almost like watching WWE. It's like the storylines, the drama. It feels like a soap opera, like who's in whose clique. I like the NBA offseason drama and the NBA draft and the trades, all this stuff, free agency. I like it more than the actual games.
Well, you can look at it this way. The NFL is king here in America, but I would have to say nationwide, I have to say that the NBA right now is probably the most popular because you do have the Super Bowl, which is giant, but you have 82 games of basketball. And guess the biggest part about basketball is compared to baseball and football is that the NBA athletes are allowed to be themselves. They're marketed more than the NFL players. They're able to kind of vocalize their opinions, have fun. There's a lot of fun with NBA players. Guys are making movies. They're more out in the open. So anytime anything like this happens where we have a possibility of landing a super player in LeBron James in Los Angeles, everybody's talking. It is like a big soap opera.
Well, every day, every hour, every time we get back on Twitter or check online, there's always something new. There's something new with the NBA draft, something new with Kawhi Leonard, something new with LeBron James, always something new. So we're going to dig real deep today, and we've got a very special guest coming up at 4 o'clock. He is the New York Knicks Director of Player Personnel, the former GM and Vice President of the Denver Nuggets, and he was also Jeff's second grade teacher.
He was, yes.
How does that happen? How do you go from like an elementary school teacher to running an NBA team?
Well, the thing is, he started off in Riverside, a Ramona grad, Mark Warkentien, who's now, like you said, the vice president of the New York Knicks. He's been around the NBA. He was the executive of the year. And there's guys like the Colangelo, the eldest Colangelo, Pat Riley, you name it, James Dolan. These guys are all been executive of the year. And Mark Warkentien of Ramona High School of Riverside was my second grade long-term sub, is now going to call us, and we're going to have a nice conversation about the NBA draft and about his times in the NBA.
Now, I looked him up, and he's famous for when he was with the Denver Nuggets, he made a trade for Allen Iverson, and then he traded Allen Iverson. And those were like his big signature moves.
Yeah, and remember, Denver, when he brought Chauncey Billups into the fold back, because remember, Chauncey Billups, a lot of people don't realize how great, everybody say he was a great NBA player, but he got his his start at the University of Colorado.
That's right. He was a Buffalo.
So coming back home, it brought a huge fan base to Denver and really endeared him to the city himself. But, yeah, got rid of Allen Iverson. Looking forward to talking to him about it.
All right, so Mark Warkentien, who also – he was, the interim or part-time GM of the Cleveland Cavaliers?
Yeah, he was the vice president of the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Was he there when LeBron was there?
He was there. He was the general manager the second year LeBron was there.
Wait, so he was not the GM when they decided to draft him?
No, he was there his sophomore season with the Cleveland Cavaliers. So look at the players he's been in charge of. Look at the drafts. He's got a big one coming up tomorrow. What are the New York Knicks going to do? I don't think he's going to tell us, but we can sure prod him and see if we can get something out of him.
And Kawhi Leonard's name has been tagged to the Knicks a little bit. They've been saying that maybe LeBron James would want to go to the Big Apple and they can make a trade and bring in Kawhi Leonard.
Who would they trade?
I don't know. I think that's a lot. Of all the other there's so many other teams I think that are in front of the Knicks for Kawhi Leonard, but his name has been linked to him.
He's been linked to a lot of teams.
He's been linked to everyone but Sacramento.
Yes, and he never will be, I have to say. No. But a lot has transpired the last 24 hours in the Kawhi Leonard sweepstakes, if you want to call them. I'm looking at it now. I still think that he is going to be a Los Angeles Laker, if not this year, next year. And I'm starting to think that Greg Popovich is going to have to soften his stance because he's not going to get anything for him unless they trade to the Lakers. He's going to be there anyways. So you might as well take the young pieces that the Lakers have, make your program better, and realize that he's going to be there a year from now. Just take care of the inevitable and trade him to Los Angeles.
Well, I don't think you're completely wrong, but I think you're wrong.
Okay.
But not all the way wrong.
And we're brought to you by Spoiled. Quick quality oil change. You can spoil yourself and your car. You know you're overdue. You're driving around. It's hot out there. You got the AC going, and you are way overdue. That's why you pop into Spoiled right there off of Alessandro Boulevard. You get the oil changed. You feel better about yourself, about your life. Maybe you have to drive kids around or your wife or your girlfriend. You make sure they're nice and safe in your car. Spoiled. You can't beat it.
They also check all your fluids in your car.
And
that's very important because
all the
AC
fluids
needs to be cool.
The windshield wiper fluid.
Everything.
Everything. And they'll top it off.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they'll top it all the way off. Spoiled. Quick quality oil change. It's
So important out there. It's like going to the dentist every 6 months.
Yes.
So more important.
I go to the
You
dentist.
can rot your teeth out, but you need your oil changed.
I go every couple of years.
Let those teeth rot, but get your oil changed. It's spoiled. All right, so here's the deal. Kawhi Leonard and Greg Popovich met for the first time eye to eye in a long time. Reportedly last night in San Diego. We don't know where. I kind of picture it some swanky speakeasy in the gas lamp district. You know, somewhere downtown San Diego is a speakeasy. You knock on the door and you sneak inside. I don't know where they met, probably a hotel conference room. But they met, they said, last night. And they got together for the very first time. And they said, this is very, very obscure, very vague. They said Kawhi was not alone for this meeting.
Of course not. He had his uncle with him. His agent, his uncle, his mentor.
It had to have been, right?
Yeah, and honest to goodness, I think a lot of has been said that there's animosity between the two. Kawhi Leonard's camp came out and said that they were avoiding Popovich on purpose, which leads me to believe I don't think it was an anger issue. I think it was more of, hey, coach, I got to tell you, I don't want to be in San Antonio.
Uncomfortable.
I'm very uncomfortable, but they're making it sound like these two are bitter enemies. They won a world championship together. Kawhi was MVP. Kawhi has been a consummate team guy. I don't think Greg Popovich wants to burn that bridge with Kawhi Leonard, whether or not he's playing for San Antonio, he's playing for the Lakers, or whomever, because Greg Popovich doesn't want to burn bridges with any of the best players because he's the coach of the U.S. national team. He's going to be in charge of USA basketball in 2021.
I'm coming around on Kawhi because at first I thought, that's pretty Bush League to go off, do your own thing during this injury. You're not around the team. You don't want to be around Popovich. You don't want to see him face to face. Heaven forbid you have to actually see this guy in person.
Yeah, and I think it's an embarrassment.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. I think it's more pride. Like, this is awkward. It's going to be uncomfortable. But this is Kawhi. This is Kawhi's, his chuck wagon, his money train. Like, this is where he's going to make the money of the majority of his career. The money's going to be made right now while he's in his prime. I don't blame him for wanting to come to L.A. if that's what he wants.
Well, he's not a very vocal guy. I've had a chance to know Kawhi Leonard. I've had conversations with him. He's not a person that's going to get in your face and argue with you. He's a very mild-mannered, low-key guy. I don't see him wanting to go to Los Angeles to be the superstar. He wasn't in San Antonio, even though he was the best player. But I could see him playing second fiddle to LeBron James. I could see him playing first fiddle if LeBron doesn't come to Los Angeles. But he's not that kind of guy where he's going to go out and say, hey, I want this, I want that. I just think he wants to be close to home. He's got family here. He's a very, very, he keeps a very small circle of friends. And I think that small circle of friends, he'd be more comfortable here in the Inland Empire, whether it be here or Los Angeles.
Again, I don't have a problem with Kawhi and what he's doing because if you want to go back home, we all want to go back home, right? If you had a sweet job and you're going to make a ton of money and be closer to home, I can't blame him for that. I think why people turn on Kawhi is because there's a lot of things lost in translation that he doesn't talk. So we have to read into everything. We see him leave the Spurs. He's training on his own. He goes and sees his own doctor. We're jumping to a lot of conclusions because he simply doesn't talk. He does not make a spectacle. There's athletes out there that, I think of Terrell Owens. Hey, guys, he tells the media, hey, guys, if you want to talk to me, I'll be in my driveway of my house doing sit-ups all afternoon. Like, he's dying to have the media around him. He wants that attention. He wants the microphone in front of him so he can get his message out. Kawhi's not that guy.
No.
We never hear from him. So we have to assume a lot of different things because we just don't know.
Yeah, and you look at the superstars of the NBA. Let's go down the list. LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, Blake Griffin, Ben Simmons. These guys all want to be part of the spotlight. They've all been a part of the spotlight. They enjoy it. Kawhi Leonard doesn't enjoy it. He's endorsed 2 things, and it was just basically 2 tweets. Chicken wings.
And it probably wasn't even him.
No,
somebody was doing it for him.
But it was, it was probably I think his aunt runs, or his sister runs his account, and for a hoverboard company.
Yeah.
That was it. He just wants to play basketball. He's not a demonstrative guy. He's a very quiet guy. Just play basketball. Come to Los Angeles. Everybody will be happy. I think the Spurs will be happy because they're going to get a lot of young talent.
Guess what? A lot more Kawhi coming later here on the show, on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. A lot more NBA as well. Jeff, I woke up this morning, I rolled out of bed, and Dwight Howard was traded. And my first thought was, who does Dwight Howard play for right now? And secondly, who would want Dwight Howard? I was lost in all this.
Well, it is the anniversary of his last trade. A year ago today.
Was it really?
A year ago today, he was traded to Charlotte. Who owns the Charlotte? Are they the Hornets?
The Hornets.
Who owns the Charlotte Hornets?
I don't know. Michael Jordan?
Michael Jordan.
Does he own
Yes,
them?
he does.
Is he majority owner?
He is the majority owner. But guess who the general manager is?
I don't know. Oh, wait, no, I do. Mitch Kupchak.
The same general manager who was the general manager of the Los Angeles Lakers during the Dwight Howard sweepstakes. So just like the last, I'm not going to tell you, I will say this. He's played for 7 teams in his career.
Dwight Howard has?
Dwight Howard has.
Holy smokes.
The last 4 years, he's played for 4 different teams.
Wait, can you name them?
That is going to be my bet to you
Okay,
here.
I'm not going to. I won't look
don't
it up.
look. Don't look
I
it
won't
up.
look it up.
But he's been played for 4 different teams in 4 years. And I'll tell you what, I think a lot of people look at Dwight Howard as that guy who's immature. You like him in the beginning, but then he's like a bad girlfriend that you look at and you go, oh, she's beautiful. And then she drives you crazy and you can't get rid of her. That is what Dwight Howard is. You can't get rid of him until the season's over, and he's already been destructive to your program. Dwight Howard is immature, and we've seen it time and time again. Grow up. The guy could have been so damn good.
You'd almost think he dated a Kardashian. It's gotten so bad for Dwight Howard. You'd almost think.
Hey,
did he?
Well, he has 5 different children, or 5 children of 5 different mothers.
He does,
and he's not married, so maybe there is a chance that he's come across the Kardashian sometime in his life.
It's gotten so bad, and when I think of obscure basketball players who don't belong in the NBA and are getting way too much money, the first name that always jumps in my head for whatever reason is Timothy Mozgov. That's who he got traded for, right?
Yes.
I didn't know Timothy Mozgov was even in the NBA still either.
Timothy Mozgov was also in the Laker fold when Mitch Kupchak was the general manager.
That was Mitch Kupchak's big summer. Remember, he brought in Mozgov and he brought in Luol Deng. That's bad. That's like 2 of the worst contracts.
The worst contract in NBA history, or I should say the worst contract currently in the NBA is that Luol Deng contract.
Oh, that Deng contract.
Yeah.
All right, a lot more NBA draft, a lot more Kawhi Leonard, and again, coming up at 4 o'clock, Mark Warkentien, Jeff's teacher and also the director of player personnel for the New York Knicks. So he's going to be calling some shots tomorrow during the draft. Maybe he'll give us a hint what the Knicks are going to do. I doubt it. He doesn't want to show too many cards.
No.
The World Cup today. We had 3 matches, all of them 1-0 final scores. We had Uruguay beating Saudi Arabia 1-0. We had España, that's Spain, beating Iran 1-0. And we had Portugal over Morocco 1-0 as well. And in that game for Portugal, Ronaldo scored again. Let's crank up the highlight machine, Greg Holla. It sounded like this because Ronaldo has all of Portugal's goals at the World Cup so far in 2 matches. Here it goes.
Para la selección de Portugal que viene de empatar 3-3 en un partidazo frente a España. Viene el centro, gol de Cristiano, gol! ¡Gol!
Oh, they
I'll do it for you. Goal!
Jeff, can you do that? How long can you do a goal?
Jeff, you're going to have to do it.
Okay, ready? Here we go.
The highlight machine's going.
1, 2, 3.
I think I'm lightheaded. I can pass out right now.
All right?
No, I'm going down.
Oh.
Going down.
Porque fútbol es mi corazón.
Hey,
That's the World Cup.
he scored all of their goals.
All of them in 2 matches.
MVP.
He had a hat trick, and they had one today, which it only needed one. They beat him 1-0. All right. To Major League Baseball, the Dodgers had that split with the Cubs yesterday. They had a morning game today. I mean, that's like 3 games back-to-back for the Dodgers and the Cubs. And they lost today. 4-0 was the final score.
Dang it.
Couldn't get the offense going. They lost 4-0, so the Cubs take 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers. But going back to last night, Rich Hill looked great. 6 innings, no runs, 6 strikeouts in the second game of a doubleheader. He rehabbed with Rancho Cucamonga. Worked out pretty well. He looked great. Austin Barnes knocked in the only run last night. In that 2-1, it was a loss in extra innings. So think about it. They had a doubleheader yesterday. The second game went to extra innings. And then they turn around for another morning game against the Cubs. I mean, that's back to back to back for the Dodgers.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, just because of the rain issue and they had light issues, they had to play that doubleheader. Yeah, that's got to be rough. Dodgers need to regroup, get back to home, and get some rest.
And closer to home at the Big A, the Halos with a big win against Arizona last night, 5-4. That's good news for the Dodgers. Even though they lost, that's good news because Arizona lost the game thanks to Mike Trout. He had the bases loaded, hit a big-time single to drive in a pair of runs, and that was the difference in the game.
Thanks, Halos.
What's up, Angels? Thank you, Angels. Thank you, Angelitos. Appreciate it. So Halos and Blue Jays tonight. The series is over with Arizona. The Angels did their part. They helped out the Dodgers a little bit. But they got the Blue Jays tonight. And also last night at the Big A. So Norco softball was at Angel Stadium on the field, hanging out with all the Halos. They were honored. They were celebrated for winning their 5th CIF Southern Section Division I championship. So we had Norco here in studio, and then they went to Angel Stadium, hanging out with the guys. And also, you know what, Jeff?
No.
Not only was it Norco, Ukaipa Baseball was there.
They were.
Ukaipa Baseball, your CIF Southern Section Division II champion, their first CIF title since '94. T-Birds were also at the Big A. Guess what? They lit that halo up. Norco was there, Ukaipa was there, and the Halos won. It doesn't get any better than that.
I'll tell you what,
That's
though,
what it's all
watching
about.
that game, I was texting you last night during the game, Pep. Angels almost gave it away in the 8th. Man, they had a comfortable lead, and that middle relief is killing the Angels.
They just need the starters to go deeper, right, into the game and get some run support.
Yeah, and go to your closer, but they're not getting anything from that middle of the bullpen there.
And the good news, you want more good news?
Yes.
The Astros finally lost. They had a 12-game winning streak. Nobody was beating Houston, but the Rays got them last night. 2-1 in extra innings, so the winning streak is over for Houston. That's the good news. We're brought to you by Kin Sporting Goods. More than 40 years in the Inland Empire with all of your sporting gear needs. I look around our studio. We've got jerseys. We've got hats. We've got helmets. I bet you all of it came from Kin's. Kin's has it all. They can do team sales, embroidery, screen printing. They can hook it all the way up for you and your team and your company. KinSportingGoods.com, right there off the 15. You know where it's at, off of Hamner in Horsetown, USA, Norco. When we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, the very, very latest on Kawhi Leonard. Will he be a Laker? I say yes, but there's a caveat because I'm not backtracking on my conspiracy theory he's going to Cleveland. I'll explain when we come back. You're listening to the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
Are you crying? Are you crying? There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
Inland Empire sports fans turn to the Inland Sports Show.
You talk to the radio?
On Fox Sports IE 1350 for breaking news, exclusive interviews, and big-name guests in the IE.
Need a job or time for an upgrade in your current position? Join Fox Sports Radio 1350, co-sponsor.
We focus on the customer here. Believe it or not, that is the biggest thing for customers on an oil change. They just want the convenience of coming in, driving in, getting it done, and driving out. We just greet them, get them going, and they're done in about 10 minutes or so. We don't push any sales on them. We do the oil change, and I think that's what sets us apart is our customer service. Vacuumed and cleaned your windshield for you as well. Everything's looking pretty good. You come into us one time, believe me, we'll spoil you and you'll be ready to come back the next time.
Thank God, first of all. I thank the great people that I've got around me that help support me, the people that work for me. As I started, if it wasn't for the people around me, we probably wouldn't be here right now, but I've got a great staff. I've got great people that do stuff for us outside the store, and we've been very, very fortunate. Our service is impeccable, and we just keep trying to get better every year. We can do online stuff for your teams, as well as, like I said, the screen printing, the embroidery. We also have 3 women that do extra sewing for us, like tackle tool on uniforms, or the bling or rhinestones for different shirts for the ladies. That's why we have certain racks just for certain schools, and the fun about that is that it turns into other schools that may come in here that aren't as close, that we can do stuff for them as well. We've had very, very good customers throughout the years, and it's just been a blast.
We're small, family-owned, strive for quality pre-owned vehicles. We're not a volume dealer, and we take every deal as personal to us. We're a low-stress environment. We're not a pressure sales house. If you want to shop us, you're more than welcome to shop us. We have, like I said, great rates, competitive financing, a lot of one-owner, clean Carfax, clean title vehicles. As you see, we have Carfax everywhere. That's most important to us, to educate our customers before they make a purchase. We're right off of Ontario, right off a couple exits off the 15 freeway, off Cahelco, off El Cerrito, and we're right on the main drag going into Dos Logos and the crossings. We have great financing, we have great lenders that we're using. We do buy, sell, trade, cash for your car. Whatever we need to do to help accommodate the customer, that's what we're here for. We have a little bit of everything. We start at about $69.95 and go all the way up to $100,000. We have Escalades, we have commuters, we have pickup trucks, we have Jeeps, sport utilities, and if we don't have it, our specialty is finding you exactly what you're looking for.
doesn't get you fired up, nothing will. Welcome back to the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. It's Wednesday, Hump Day. Greg Hollow's favorite day of the week. Hump Day. There's no Quakes tonight. He's going to go straight to home. Listen to that Creed tribute band he's been really fell in love with.
Gonna go
what
down?
are you going to do tonight?
I'm going to join their name is Crud.
Crud.
Crud. That's the cover band, Crud.
You know what? Can you Google that? There might actually be a crud band out there that plays all the greatest hits of Creed.
All right, check out cover bands for Creed and see what name.
Oh, yeah.
Crud. Welcome back to your favorite show. We're brought to you by our dear, dear friends over at Boost Performance Training with Coach Ray Bass. He's got a whole team over there. Shout out to Shelly. Also, listen, athletes of all levels. It doesn't matter if you're just getting into the sport or you're trying to get that scholarship, trying to get to college, trying to turn pro. From golf, lacrosse, football, every single sport, everybody's going to Boost Performance Training. Because who doesn't want to be stronger and faster and jump higher and do all those things? You can be the best. But if you don't, you might be the worst if you don't go to Boost. Boost Performance Training. We love you, Ray Bass.
Okay, here we go. Here's one. Creed Feed.
What?
Creed Feed. That's the Creed cover band, Creed Feed. Then there is...
Creed Feed?
Yeah, Creed
Okay.
Feed. And then there's another one called My Own Prison. That must be something to do with one of their songs. Human Clay Creed. That's a tribute band. So there's many tribute bands.
But none named Crud?
No Crud. Let me see.
That is a shame.
Oh, what a band.
There it is.
Nope, no Crud. But there are several. There's My Sacrifice. Oh, there's...
You know what Greg Hollis said when he walked in? Because when he hears Creed, he says, man, that's the soundtrack of my life.
Is that what he says?
Yeah, he
Nothing
said
like going on a date and you play the right Creed song that gets them in the mood.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know they were a Christian band. Did you know
Crud?
that Creed was Creed was a Christian band.
They were?
And then they went all
Christian? I didn't know that.
then they went all in. They were doing the horns and they're banging their heads and mosh pitting, doing drugs. Oh yeah, they went from good to the den
They
of
went
iniquity.
From like choir boys.
They went from choir boys to the den of iniquity. They were hanging out in opium
den
dens.
of iniquity.
Yeah, that's what they should have been changed their name to. The Den of Iniquity. Those guys all got jacked up. Scott Stapp, isn't that the lead singer? Scott
Is he
Stapp.
still with us? I'm serious.
Yeah, he is still with us. But he went on some rough times. A buddy of mine who was a friend of his, no joke, the assistant basketball coach at Liberty University, a very, very Christian university, was very good friends with them. They both went off the deep end. One guy lost his job as a basketball coach as an assistant because he was hanging out with Scott Stapp. They were doing things that you could only dream of, like a rock star.
Like Tommy Lee.
Who
are some of those other hard rockers?
Poison.
Van Halen?
Van Halen was kind of... Metallica, those guys probably had some good times.
Poison?
Who?
Poison?
Yeah, Poison. Yeah, definitely.
White Snake?
Yeah, those dudes. Those guys were all rockers.
Living hard.
Motley.
Hard. Oh, there it is. That is the quintessential crazy band of the 80s.
Those guys were living
hard. Oh, yeah, that's Tommy Lee. Remember, have you ever been or seen, and I'm not a big Motley Crue fan, but do you remember when they would tour, Tommy Lee was the drummer, and they would put him on this thing, and he would flip around. He'd be playing the drums upside down like it was a ride. Playing upside down. Yeah. He did a rotation.
That's actually kind of cool.
And it's very cool. But there's only a couple bands I like, and I like one hardcore band, and it's probably it's probably not cool anymore. Muse. Have you ever heard of the group Muse?
No.
Muse is fantastic.
The only time I've heard Muse wasn't that Kobe Bryant's kids show?
No, that's the Muse Cage.
Yeah, that was his.
Oh, no, Muse. This is Muse. I can't hear it right now, but Muse is 3 dudes. Just 3 dudes. But they put on the best stage show. They got all kinds of lights, and stages are moving around, and they are true rockers. Here it is.
Is this really them?
Yeah.
You never heard this?
No.
Great tune. They're really good. I'm going to show you a video on the next break. They do some stuff on stage that is crazy. Like the whole stage flipping around and stuff.
Really great.
Awesome. That's one group I want to see before I die.
Welcome back to the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. Jeff, before we talk about Kawhi again in the NBA draft, That doesn't look like water over there.
No, it's not. It's a big Coke. It's a large Coke, and I got some Skittles sitting here because.
Is that what?
Yeah.
What happened to the all-water diet?
Well, last night I went home and I gorged on meatballs and twice-baked spaghetti. I brought you guys some nice cookies today.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Unbelievable, weren't they?
Delicious.
Spectacular. Double chocolate with caramel.
I know why you married her.
Yeah, because she can bake. I only married her because she can bake. I don't even know what she looks like. But she made my spaghetti. I ate all the spaghetti my body could handle. And then I went to a coma. And then I have not eaten until I got here. I had a little Skittles, and then tonight I'm going to go home and gorge on more spaghetti. Leftovers. Then I'm going to swim, and then I'm going to work off all that fat. And then I'll go back to water tomorrow.
The water diet back intact.
Yeah.
All right, so Kawhi Leonard and Greg Popovich met in San Diego last night. The details are sketchy. We don't know where they met. We don't know if they, met over dinner. Maybe they went to Kawhi's house. We have no idea. There's no details. All we know is Greg Popovich flew to San Diego, met with Kawhi Leonard, and we're hearing that Kawhi was not alone. We're assuming his uncle was there. Is his uncle his agent?
Yes.
Or is there two separate people there?
No.
Same guy?
It is him.
So, and we don't know the fallout from that meeting. Again, we're just going to speculate the heck out of this until something happens because we don't know what was said in that meeting. Maybe they hugged at the end and there was some resolution. Maybe it was bitter and it got ugly at the end. We have no idea, but they did meet last night. Jeff, two things I want to bring up in the next 5 minutes. One is you still firmly believe that he will be a Laker.
Yes.
I'm not saying it won't happen, but I am 99% confident that San Antonio will not make a trade with the Lakers with Kawhi. If he's a Laker, it'll happen. Okay, San Antonio's going to trade him, probably.
Yes.
And then after next season, when he's free to go wherever he wants, then Kawhi can be a Laker. But I feel like there's no chance he's going to be a Laker this season.
Well, this is what I think. If I was the San Antonio Spurs, and I'm no genius, but this is what I thought about the last 24 hours. If I know that Kawhi Leonard is going to be a Laker, regardless if I trade him now or we trade and he's at another team for a year, the best thing for San Antonio to do if you want to mess with LA just a tad bit is you hold on to him till the 23rd hour of the trading deadline. Then you take apart that Laker team during the season, and you can pick who you want to have or who you want to get to trade for Kawhi to become a Laker. I mean, they could basically, if San Antonio is smart, they could pillage that entire roster of young guys if they hold it to the 23rd hour of the trading deadline. But thinking about Greg Popovich, what he's been through in the last 6 months with his wife passing away, he's taken over the USA basketball program. Does he really want to burn a bridge? Is it that serious anymore? He's an older guy. Why burn that bridge? Why burn that bridge with Kawhi? Why burn that bridge with other players if you want to get the very best NBA players to represent the US of A? Because word will get around that Greg Popovich is a sour, salty curmudgeon. And we don't know already. Yeah, but honestly, guys don't want to play for that kind of guy anymore unless you're playing for unless you're playing for your country. But then you don't want to burn bridges with other players because you do want them to play for you 2 years down the line.
I think the way the rest of the league views Popovich and the amount of talent San Antonio has, the window has closed. Obviously, Golden State's the team to beat. Houston's here, and they're going to be here for a while if they can keep that nucleus intact. There's a lot of great Western Conference teams, including New Orleans now. That San Antonio window is done. Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Pau Gasol, that window is closed. That they're old, they don't have a lot of talent, and I think people kind of have like you said, they look at Greg Popovich, who kind of a sour, piss and vinegar guy. You know what I mean? Who's going to want to go play in San Antonio? I think their window has closed as being one of the top teams in the NBA, and the Lakers have a chance to sneak in there and maybe jump in, I'd say, the top 3 or 4 teams in the Western Conference if they play their cards right here.
Yeah, and look at the San Antonio Spurs roster. You mentioned the age, but guys are opting out. Rudy Gay just opted out. He had another year on his deal. And Danny Green also opted out. So two of your better younger guys, not younger, but two of your better players have opted out. So which leaves a roster of just LaMarcus Aldridge, Pau
Who's still good.
Gasol.
LaMarcus Aldridge is still very good.
But towards the tail end of his career, he's not like right now at the peak of his career. He's at the tail end of his career. The one good thing Pop has been able to get guys to increase their role as they get older. We've seen Pau Gasol go from a superstar to a bench guy, but has been very productive still. Popovich can still make guys productive, but that roster is very, very, very bad.
I just feel like they have a bunch of role guys.
They do.
LaMarcus Aldridge is good, but he's not an alpha dog. There's a bunch of role guys, and a lot of them are getting long in the tooth. And people look at Greg Popovich, and they think to themselves, probably like Kawhi Leonard, do I really want to play in San Antonio for this guy?
No, you have Tony Parker's 36. Pau Gasol's going to be 38 next year. LaMarcus Aldridge is 33. That is an older ball club. And if you're going to go into next season with Patty Mills as your starting point guard, he's a good player, but is he a superstar? Can he take you to the next level? No.
No. He's the guy that's going to come off your bench, hold down the fort until your point guard can check back into the game.
Yeah, whether he's in foul trouble or he's tired. That's the only way. He's a relief guy. Tony Parker's no longer the player he was, and there is nobody on that roster that generates any kind of excitement. So Kawhi definitely is going to look elsewhere because he doesn't want to be with an aging roster.
All right, I'm exhausted. Let's take a break.
Okay.
Let's take a break. I'm going to catch my breath. When we come back, there's a brand new restaurant in Houston, and it's already getting buried. People hate it. We'll tell you why. And, Jeff, I got to give you some credit on something. I'm not tell you yet. When we come back from the break, I got to give you credit about Kawhi Leonard. You said something months and months ago, and now people are finally starting to talk about it, and you were way ahead of the curve. You're a smart guy.
Because I know people.
You're a real smart guy.
That's it.
This is your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
Welcome back to the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. We're here every single weekday, 3 to 6 p.m. Talking about the best stuff in the Inland Empire and your big national sports headlines. We're brought to you by Catalano Motors in Corona off of Temescal Canyon Road. I know you've seen it. It's Catalano Motors. And right now, when you go to Catalano's, listen, we say the Inland Sports Show, $500 off. That's all you got to do is say, hey, the Inland Sports Show sent me. And they're like, okay, $500 off. You said the magic word. Catalano Motors in Corona off of Temescal Canyon Road. Visit them online first, CatalanoCars.com. All right, Jeff, I want to give you credit quickly.
Really?
One is, I've seen multiple reports now saying the Kawhi Leonard to the Lakers is not a slam dunk. It's not a sure thing. And the team that nobody is talking about that has a realistic chance of getting Kawhi Leonard, the Boston Celtics.
I called that a long time. I called that months ago.
You said months ago of all the teams that had the flexibility and enough talent to make a trade worthwhile, because you got to have players to get players. The Spurs aren't just going to give Kawhi Leonard away for free. You got to get something good in return. You said of all the teams out there, Boston's got a lot of good young talent. And now, finally, people are starting to pick up it. I saw multiple reports online between last night and this morning saying, you know what? No one's talking about Boston. They actually could put together probably the best trade package of any other team out there.
Well, they can definitely put together the best trade package. They have picks. They have Kyrie Irving. They have Gordon Hayward. They have a couple pieces there that they could trade along with those picks and also free up some money so that Kawhi Leonard could sign that max contract. That's so Supermax.
I'm just saying it could happen. So if for some reason we all get thrown a curveball and Kawhi Leonard ends up in Boston, I think you heard it here first. You see all those reports now, but we talked about it months ago.
The only bad thing is I don't know if Boston would be willing to rent him for just a year, giving up so many pieces that they have in Boston. Stay pat, play with your guys. That's what I would do.
That's their problem to figure out, right?
Yes, that's not.
But they could put something together very compelling.
They could. They could definitely. I mean, they have the most pieces to give, and they have draft picks just flowing everywhere. They could give them away like candy, like my Skittles.
You got lots of Skittles.
Yes.
You were pushing them on me in the break. I said no. I'm on the water diet.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, speaking of being on a diet, there's a new restaurant opening up in Houston.
Okay? I saw this.
So there's this new restaurant in Houston, and it's called International Smoke. So I'm assuming it's like a barbecue place.
Probably.
The owner of this restaurant is Ayesha Curry. She is the wife of the Golden State Warriors superstar, Steph Curry. I'm assuming, I don't know this, I'm assuming that she's from Houston. That's her hometown or grew up in that area. Because why would you open up a restaurant in Houston when you could do it in Oakland or L.A. or anywhere else? You know? But she opened one up in Houston. Now, Houston fans, when I say Houston fans, I mean the Rockets, did not take too kindly of Ayesha Curry opening a restaurant in Houston because Golden State did the Rockets dirty in the Western Conference Finals, right? Golden State beat Houston. They went on and won the NBA championship. The restaurant, Jeff, is not even open yet. They have not opened their doors, and Houston folks are already burying this new restaurant. They're tweeting. They're going on Yelp. They're going all. They have not served a plate of food yet. And Houston fans are going nuts, trying to disparage and just run this restaurant through the mud. Here's some of the comments. Here's two of my favorite. One comment is, quote, this is about the restaurant. "This is absolutely the worst place to go. Her husband ripped out our hearts, and now she has the guts to open up a place here? Question mark. I would never set foot in this place, even if it was the last place on earth. P.S. This restaurant is full of snakes."
Whoa!
Period. That's one comment. Here's another comment. Remember, they have not even opened their doors. This restaurant is not even open for business. Quote, "If I wanted to have a terrible time, I would just turn on a Warriors game. And this has got to be the dumbest name for a restaurant maybe ever. I would rather eat at KFC for breakfast every day than eat here one time or watch the Warriors play.
Wow, I have actually a good review. Would you like to hear this?
Yes.
This is from Miguel in San Leandro, California.
Miguelito?
Yes.
Aye.
He said on Twitter or on Yelp, amazing, would recommend. Beautifully seasoned food. You can really taste the salty tears of our defeated enemies in every dish. 5 stars.
Woo! Because right now it currently has 1 star. Like, the ratings are awful. And again, they have not even opened their doors. There's not been a plate of food. Nothing has happened yet.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's kind of dicey, kind of tricky to open a restaurant, and the team that is really trying wants to beat your husband up is basically it. The Houston Rockets, man, they were so close, and it was Chris Paul's shimmy that got him in big trouble and hurt him. The shimmy that was heard around the world. Steph Curry hits the 3, shimmies to the fans. CP3 shimmies, and guess what happens? He shimmies right at Steph Curry, and what happens? Boom! A minute later, a hammy.
Would Clayton Kershaw open a restaurant in San Francisco?
No.
Never. So, again, Aisha Curry, I'm assuming she's from Houston.
Yeah.
But she picked Houston to open up this restaurant, and Rocket fans are going absolutely nuts. When we come back, this is going to be a real treat, especially if you're a New York Knicks fan. Mark Warkentien, the director of player personnel for the New York Knicks, he's been very busy getting ready for tomorrow night's NBA draft, but he carved out a couple minutes just for us on the Inland Sports Show. We've got Mark when we come back. This is your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
To the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Corum.
Welcome back to the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. We're proudly brought to you by Spoiled Quick Quality Oil Change right there off of Alessandro Boulevard.
Right now, let's go to the Spoiled Quick Quality Oil Change Celebrity Hotline. This guy is big time, but a long, long time ago, Jeff, he was your teacher, and I still can't believe it.
Yeah, he was my teacher. He was my second grade long-term sub. He's a Ramona High School graduate. I'm just going to say this. There was an era of in Riverside of Ramona athletes. You know, the John Macy, Tony Macy. There was Gary McCord, the great golfer. And then there was the Mark Warkentien, Dr. Stein, as we like to call him. And now he goes from UNLV, or I should say he goes from my second grade teacher to being Tark's right-hand man to being an executive of the year in the NBA. Welcome, Mark Warkentien. How are you, buddy?
I am good, Jeffrey. How are you?
I am great. It is so good to hear from you. I'm glad that I reached out to Tony Macy, our good friend, my former high school basketball coach, and literally within 2 minutes, I get a text back from you, and I just wanted to say thank you, and it is so good to hear your voice after all these years.
This is all good, man. This is all good.
Well, Mark is the New York Knicks Director of Player Personnel. He's been everywhere. He ran the Nuggets. He's had a lot of stops in the NBA. He's done a lot of big things. But, Mark, first off, Pep Fernandez here. What was Jeff like as a student? Do you remember anything about him? Was he a talker? Was he shy? Was he hard to maintain in the classroom?
I remember him as a player at Ramona.
You do?
And he never passed the ball.
Yes!
Some things never change.
No. If I still play, as soon as I walk in the gym, I'm shooting the ball, Stein.
I do remember that. I remember that week he's talking about because his teacher was getting married to my best friend, and at the Catholic schools you had to get your own substitute, so they made me substitute teach the week before the wedding, a week when every bachelor was coming back to Riverside and hanging out, doing silly stuff. So I'd have to get up at like 7 in the morning and go see Jeffrey. That was punishment. It was pure punishment.
Mark Warkentien join us here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. Mark, I love this time of year. As an NBA executive, though, do you enjoy this time of year? Is it stressful? Is it exciting? How would you kind of describe as we go into the NBA draft?
The draft is an interesting thing. It's kind of like institutional stock selection, okay? You send your money into the mutual fund, you send it in, and once a year you have to make purchases. You know, you have no option. You have to draft. And it's a poker game. You guys are reading all this stuff on the internet. This guy's saying this guy's saying that. They're all lying. I'll share something with you. Jerry, when I was like a young whippersnapper getting started, I kind of asked the same question to Jerry West, okay? Like, geez, Jerry, how do you do this? And he told me, he says, you know, Mark, all these guys are lying. He says, I tell the truth about once every 3 or 4 years, just to keep them off guard. So they never know when I'm telling the truth or if I'm lying. But usually I'm lying.
Tried to call their bluff. Mark, let me ask you.
I mean, you know, it's really very much a poker game. And it's a tricky deal. You know, guys get lost. I wouldn't take that guy. They want to make it a linear equation. Who should be 1, who should be 4, who should be 6. It's really a drill, and you guys can play around with this. You go back and look at drafts, okay? There's usually, I don't know, 8, 9 good players in a draft. I'll call them non-fungible. Fungible meaning easily replaced. And your job, you want to get the groupings right. You want to make sure that you get one of the good players, because after you get to after 10, 11 guys, the guys are just a bunch of guys named Joe. They're just pretty average. And in free agency, you can get them for minimum. The league is about stars and trying to catch big hands, and you can do it. I mean,
well, Mark,
Donovan Mitchell, is tremendous, right?
Yeah, he's been fantastic.
22 teams had a shot at him.
Well, Mark, without giving away all your secrets and what the Knicks might do, can you kind of walk us through what a draft night feels like? Because, and here's what I'm trying to get to. You guys probably have a plan, like how this might play out or the guys that you're interested in. But if somebody throws you a curveball, if another team picks a draft pick that nobody else expected, is there a domino effect that it kind of trickles down through all the teams and you've got, whatever the 5 or 10 minute, window to like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do now? We've got to change our plan.
This is why before the draft starts, you have to have your draft board in order. And that's the order. You can't change it because somebody took somebody or, whatever. Draft night's a tricky thing. I mean, guys, here's what you have going on everywhere. Okay? You have general manager who's responsible for this, but then you also have a coach. And what does the coach want? If the coach is generally speaking now, if the coach is offered a veteran player for a promising rookie, he'll go with a veteran player. He doesn't want to teach a rookie. He said, hey, that guy could be a good player in 4 years. Yeah, will I be here in 4 years? He's worrying about the next game. So, that becomes his vision. That's his prism. You have the owner. His prism is different. He's going to own this team for 5, 7, 10 more years. He's not planning on selling anytime. So he wants to get the very best player available. He wants the best long-term asset. Those things come up against each other. Then you have you guys, okay? I don't mean this in a mean way, but you have all the talk radio and bloggers and social media and everything telling you, this pick is obvious. This is no-brainer. How could they pass? There's public sentiment. I'm serious. That comes in. And if you're really high, okay, if you're way up in the lottery, that stuff comes into play. Let's do this one. Now, we just said, like, my goodness, Donovan Mitchell was a tremendous pick, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. If it was 2 days after the draft and, whomever, the team with the 4th pick took Donovan Mitchell, what would you guys have said?
Why did they pick Donovan Mitchell?
Exactly.
Why did they pick Donovan Mitchell? Hey, he might be a great player, but you could have got him later. That's too early for him. It's never too early to take a really good player. And when now, do this one, guys. Do this one. Also, in every lottery, every year, go back and look at the history of the draft. Go on Wikipedia and look at any draft. There's always a couple of guys in the lottery that are going to flop. They cannot play. They're no good. All the guys on talk radio and the media and ESPN and everything, they love to play. This guy was an ESPN darling. Well, then as a GM, you have to tell the owner, maybe the owner's kid, maybe the owner's girlfriend, whomever, well, why aren't we taking him? I saw him in the Final Four. He was good. Then you got to be the guy that says, that guy in the lottery can't play. I mean, hey, I'm just using this as an example, okay, because I love the guy. Eddie O'Bannon. Hey, Eddie played at UCLA. He's first-team All-American. He's the most outstanding player in the Final Four. At 7, he's a bad pick. He's out of the league in 2 or 3 years. The hard part of being a general manager or making the call is sometimes a popular player. You got to tell the owner, no, we're going to pass on him. And now, that's on you now.
Yeah, we've seen, in fact, I'll even go back a little further. There was a guy, David Rivers, who played at University of Notre Dame. Remember the Clippers?
Yeah.
The Clippers drafted him so high, and he was supposed to be the future of the Clippers. But one thing that they didn't realize is when he was playing in college, he could get by anybody and get to the basket. But when he was in the NBA, he couldn't shoot outside of 8 feet, and he was out of the league within 4 years.
Well, guys, there's risk on almost every player. Is he good enough? Is he big enough? Is he What will he do? You know, there's things in there that you just can't really figure out. I'm sorry. You're doing your best guess. What happens now when you pay him $1 bazillion and he has this social media platform? What does he do then? You don't know. I mean, think about this one. Regular guy, if your next door neighbor, if tomorrow he wins the California lottery, you know, he wins $1 bazillion. The chances are, in a couple of years, his life is in ruin. When you hand people an ungodly amount of money, how are they going to handle that? Well, okay, forget your neighbor next door who has a job and went to school and has life experience. Give it to somebody who's 18, 19 years old and see what he does with it. You don't really know. You're guessing. You can do psychological profiling. You can do all that stuff, but you're just guessing. You're doing your best guess. And, I mean, a few things are certain on draft day.
Well, Mark, you were talking about making sometimes unpopular picks and doing what you have to do as the man in charge of an NBA team to build that. I wanted to ask you about the move for Allen Iverson.
Let's do it.
You know what I mean? Like when you're the boss and you're making those moves, are you thinking in the back of your head, okay, this is either going to play out really well or this could get me fired? I mean, do you think about the consequences when you're trying to make a big blockbuster deal in the NBA?
Yeah. Oh, for sure you do. Particularly if you're immortal, okay? And I mean, you know, hey, if you're Magic, if you're Larry Bird or Michael Jordan or something, you're allowed to make a bad pick because you're Larry Bird, you're Michael Jordan. If Jeff's second grade long-term sub makes a bad move, that's a different deal. That's a different deal. So if you're a mere mortal, yeah, you know, that comes in. But you know, I'll walk you through the Iverson trade. Okay, and you know we have a couple of situations. I was actually thinking about this morning because I was listening to the radio or television or whatever, and you know, with a couple of players, the guys are saying, "Well, what's this team going to do? They have to do something with this guy because the situation's not good." And you start hearing guys say that you have to do something, and you guys can connect the dots. You don't have to do anything. I was with Denver. I'm going to walk you through the Melo trade. This is you have to do something, but you don't really have to. Okay? Melo, we lost in the first round. And, I don't know, game 3, game 4, Melo got a DUI. It's not exactly a military secret that Coach Carl did not get along with Mel. So everybody's calling. You have to do something. Okay, well, tell me what you want to do. Well, we'll give you Jeff and a second-round pick for Melo. I don't have to do that. I'll take my chances. Melo's under contract. Hey, we don't have another game. When you're hearing these guys right now saying they have to do something, put yourself in those teams' shoes. They don't have a game until November. What do they have to do? So I'll go through the Iverson thing a little bit. So guys are calling us for basically stupid deals. Hey, I'll take you to the Sire and buy you a hamburger if you give me Melo. Shut up. So we had to convince everybody that we're not trading Mel. But I also would give them, hey, the rest of the roster, we're entirely open to trades. So when Detroit was calling us on Chauncey Billups, hey, we like Chauncey. We like Chauncey a lot. He's a Denver guy. He's an all-league player. That sounds pretty good. But I'm not going to give you Melo for you. I'm not going to give you a 24-year-old all-star for a 32-year-old veteran. Okay, so look at the rest of the roster. If you have anything, come back to us. Well, over the course of the summer, that morphed to, well, geez, would you be interested in Chauncey for AI? Yeah, I would be. And this is me. I would be interested in that. All right, and over the course of time, that became Chauncey for AI. But when I was reading Hoops Hype and the internet today, they're saying, different prognosticators are saying this team has to do something with this player. Okay, they have to do something with that player. They don't have to. They don't have to.
Hey, Mark, I'm curious as well. When you meet with other NBA executives on a possible trade, I mean, is there a norm, an unwritten rule that you don't discuss this with the media, you don't leak this out, you try to keep it in-house behind closed doors?
Yeah, well, you try to. You try to, and that's a tough trick. That's a tough trick because a lot of these stories you guys are reading, they're fed by agents. They don't come from the teams. Some teams do talk too much, and then you try not to do business with them. So when you call certain guys, there's a real chance your business will end up in the street, and then you're going to have to defend it to your player, and you have a problem that you halfway did yourself.
Well, that's really interesting.
Yeah, because we only hear, as the media people, we just hear the bits and pieces from people. We have some sources here and there, but yeah, like you said.
We try to draw a conclusion. We try to piece it all together and say, okay, well, this is what this means.
Sure. Hey, guys, you guys ever go to Vegas? Yeah, you do.
Of course.
Oh, Jeff does.
Okay, you're walking past a blackjack table, and you see your buddy's cards because he's sitting there playing. You see his cards, and you see the dealer's up card, and you say, "Well, you ought to hit, or you ought to stay, or I don't know." You can give advice on those 2 or 3 cards you saw play. You haven't seen the other 53 cards, have you?
No.
29 cards.
Yeah.
You see 3 cards. There's 49 other cards. And your job as a GM is to put it in the context of all 52 cards. And, the guy on the street and the guy in the media, he only has a couple of pieces to play with. And you draw your conclusions, which, hey, I get that, which is why you really try to. Some guys are great. R.C. Buford and the Spurs, Sam Presti, almost all the Spurs disciples. Sam Presti in Oklahoma City, Dennis Lindsay in Utah. You don't hear anything from them. That's their culture. They keep their cards close to the vest, and you can trust them. Some other guys, as soon as you talk, here's one of the worst things. When, you talk to, we'll just make up a team, okay? You talk to Chicago. And you let them know that these 4 or 5 players in your roster are available. Then that guy will get on the phone, and he'll call, name a team, Dallas, and say, "Hey, I can get you these players from the Knicks." Now all of a sudden, the word's out that you're shopping these players, and then you have 10 agents and 5 handlers and social media killing you. I mean, hey, I'll tell you one thing, guys. I don't do social media. I don't Facebook. I don't yearbook. I don't Twitter.
It's stressful. There's already enough stress, and then you put social media on top of everything else, and then it just kind of compounds it all.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, it's no, you got to. I'll defend Brian Colangelo a little bit. You have to keep track of social media. Because that is how the players communicate. You need to know what's going on in their worlds.
Yeah, and
I don't run the Knicks. If I went back and absolutely ran a team again, I think I'd hire some young guy who has every Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It has everything. I'd say your job at night is to have no life. You just follow this stuff, and when something comes up that's interesting, let me know. Yeah. I'd hire a guy just to follow social media.
You could hire Colangelo's wife. She'd be great. She'd be fantastic. I mean, heck, well, I'm thinking about hiring her for myself just because so many people say so many horrible things about me, Mark. I need somebody to defend me a little bit.
I'll defend you.
Okay.
I'll defend you. I know Jeff won't. Jeff defends nobody.
That's right. No, I haven't guarded a soul ever. But Mark, I wanted to ask you, the last thing, what's your fondest memory? I know there's so many of going to Ramona, being a part of RCC with with Tarkanian over at UNLV. What's your fondest memory of Riverside that you can kind of put in a small nutshell here?
Oh my goodness. Probably my teammates. Jeff referenced that there was a period of time that Ramona just had I had fabulous teammates. Smart guys. You know, Mike LeDuc at Glendora High School's only won about 6,000 games. Tony May. I had just fabulous teammates. We still play golf together. We take golf trips. Still do stuff. But I'll tell you what, guys. Billy Mulligan at Riverside City College was the most fun guy ever. Most fun ever. I mean, he made me laugh every day.
But yeah, I will say this: I loved Bill Mulligan. I loved Billy, his son. I've still remained very close to the family. I still wear. Billy
Mulligan might be one of those guys talking about you.
Yes, he definitely is. Because he can't talk. He's got that darn voice box thing. But yeah, he's one of the shrewdest, toughest guys ever. But I will say this: I to this day wear saddle shoes because I cover a lot of UCR basketball, where the Pep and I do the color and the play-by-play. I wear saddle shoes in honor of Coach Mulligan. Every time they play Irvine, I bust them out.
Every time I go to an RCC function, which is every couple of years, okay, I break out the saddles.
You have to. That was what Billy Mulligan, that encompassed everything about him. One of the funniest guys I've ever met, and one of the kindest human beings, a good father, a good coach. He coached everybody the same. And I want to say this before we get going here. Thank you for always being a mentor to me. Thank you for always being a mentor to my family. You were always kind to us. Whether you recruited me at UNLV or if I came out to a camp, you were always kind to the Gorham family, and we at Ramona and Riverside.
Well, bend your knees and guard somebody.
Coach, I can't bend my knees anymore, but if I could, I still wouldn't guard anyone.
Okay.
But I want to say this, that you are a big part of the Inland Empire, and I always...
I love the IE, guys. I mean, I go to LA a lot for work, and I often just stay at the Marriott downtown and make the drive back and forth because I like to see people. I really dig Riverside.
Well, Coach, it's always good to talk to you.
Can I make an editorial comment?
Yes, you can.
I cannot believe how good the leadership is at Cal Baptist. They are doing stuff.
Unbelievable. The best, incredible. I was in that arena this past weekend, and it really, it shocked me. It shocked me when I walked in. It was the nicest arena I've seen on the West Coast, the cleanest, and they're doing it the right way, and they're going to build.
Hey, guys, to show you how far that's come, when Tony Macy and I were playing hoops at Shamawa Junior High, during a time when you could call a team the Redskins, the Shamawa Redskins. Can't do that anymore. Anyways, where did Cal Baptist play their home games?
Did they play them at Shamawa?
Shamawa Junior High. Yeah, they did. They've come a long ways, baby.
Oh, that's right. And then they moved from Van Dyne, and then that got wore out. And I don't know if you've been in the new arena, but it is the most fantastic site in the Inland Empire. It makes Raincross Square, which was a cool tournament, look like
Raincross was cool.
It looks like a dungeon compared to this beautiful arena. Beautiful arena.
And Rick Croy can really coach.
That's our guy. Comes on the show quite a bit. A good friend of the show, and they're doing it correctly.
All right. Maybe he can get Jeff Sagard. I doubt it.
No.
Well, Mark, we appreciate the time. Enjoy the NBA draft.
Be good. Anytime. Let me know.
You're the best. Thank you, Mark.
Be well.
Thanks, Coach.
Mark Warkentien. Listen, we got to take a break. When we come back, we've got to unpack that whole conversation. Mark said a lot of cool things. We're going to digest that. We're going to make sense of it and break it down when we come back. We're brought to you by Boost Performance Training. Athletes of all levels, everybody's going to Boost Performance Training with Coach Ray Bass in Corona. Check them out on Instagram and Twitter. When we come back, we'll talk about the NBA draft. And, man, so many good things Mark Warkentien had to share with us. We'll break that down when we come back. It's your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
Maybe we should talk about this.
What is up, and welcome back to the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. You guys know we're brought to you by Ken Sporting Goods. They've been here for more than 4 decades. Holding it down for the IE, bringing you all of your sporting gear needs. They can do team sales, so you got a whole team. Fine, man. Go to Ken Sporting Goods. They got the whole uniform for you. They can do that, helmets, all kinds of good stuff, and embroidery. So get your Letterman's jackets at Ken Sporting Goods, kensportinggoods.com. All right, Jeff. Wow, that was Mark Warkentien. I just love the humble beginnings of being a substitute teacher, and then down the road, he's calling the shots for multiple NBA teams. He's with the Knicks now, but maybe most notably with the Nuggets, because he was the guy pulling the strings behind the scenes, bringing in Allen Iverson, trading Allen Iverson. He was there during the Carmelo Anthony days. Then he went to Cleveland when LeBron James was there. Man, can you imagine the stories he has? Like, he can't share everything, obviously, publicly. Can you imagine the stories he has behind the scenes, the guys he's been around, in the NBA? Yeah,
and I can't wait to talk to him off the air. I can't wait. Oh, yeah, darn right. If he's coming out to Riverside, I'm going to say next time you come out to my house. We're going to float around the pool. I want to hear the stories because he was the general manager of the Cleveland Cavaliers during LeBron James' second year in the league. He also ran the Portland Trailblazers. The guy's been everywhere. But the biggest thing that we haven't really talked about is he went with Tarkanian over to UNLV. He was his right-hand man. He recruited him and a guy named Tim Gergovich, which Tracy Murray talked about last time when he was on the air. Those two guys were the main recruiters that brought in Stacey Augmon, Grandma Ma,
Larry Johnson.
All of
Greg
these,
Anthony.
Greg Anthony. Yeah. And we're talking years and years. Richard Box of North High School. These guys have been around forever, and he was the architect for a lot of those national championship teams. He was sitting there right next to Tark as he chewed his towel. The stories I heard as a kid going to UNLV every summer, I would get to go to camp because of Mark Warkentien, because of Tony Macy. I was able to go to these team camps, and the stuff I was able to hear as a young kid sitting with adults and the stories that were told that I can never repeat, I will always hold those dear because of Mark Warkentien. He was a great guy, one of the best. He was the best substitute teacher I ever had, and I'll tell you why. He would come in. He was there for a week or maybe 2 weeks. His best friend, like you said, was Marion, my teacher, who I just found out just passed away, which is a little heartbreaking to hear. But we played basketball it was like we had PE, and we were at a small Catholic school, and we never had PE. He was like, let's go. We got a couple basketballs, and he was doing drills with my class. And I remember he and I were talking, playing one-on-one. The rest of the kids were like playing dodgeball. But, I was always that kid that got along really well with adults. And Mark Warkentien, and I've seen him I'll see him every couple of years. It's like time hasn't changed. He's a loving, nice, fun guy, a lot like Tony and John Macy and the guys he mentioned. He is a staple of Riverside, and I'm so happy he's done so well.
He's a big deal from UNLV to his stops in the NBA. He's now with the Knicks, right?
Yeah.
The director of player personnel. When you said he could get him, I was like, there's no way we can get him. He's a big deal. It's the night before the draft. And then I was like, does he really know Jeff? And then when he said, Jeff doesn't guard anybody, I'm like, he knows Jeff. Okay, he really knows Jeff. He's not just saying he knows him. Yeah. He really knows Jeff.
Oh, yeah, he's a family friend. The nice thing, we were talking off air, he asked about my father. Honestly, it's always refreshing to hear these stories. And his daughters, one of his daughters is the DOBO, the director of basketball operations, and the assistant athletic director at UNLV. His other daughter, Aubrey, is the men's basketball program coordinator at Tulane University. So both of his daughters involved in men's basketball.
Family, right?
Yeah, in fact, his daughter Cree is the assistant coach, men's basketball coach at UNLV. She's also the assistant AD, following in her dad's footsteps. He was also the assistant AD at UNLV. So very good family, great stories, and I'd love to get him on the air and just talk some of these old, fun Ramona stories.
It's the eve before the draft, and he made time for us. Like, it's crazy. He's probably got like a million different things going on, and he jumped on with us. But yeah, we could have picked his brain for so much more. In fact, this was off the air, and I won't share where he's at, but you asked him, hey, where are you going to be for the draft? And you're like, are you going to be, in New York, or are you going to be where you're at? And he's like, Yeah, a little of both. It was really secretive. Like, he couldn't even tell you. Like, I think there's things afoot behind the scenes, maybe with the Knicks, maybe beyond the Knicks. But he doesn't want to give away too much. Even if it's simply the location. Maybe he was in a city where he's trying to pull some strings with another team behind closed doors. I don't know, but he certainly did not want to give away too much.
But didn't you love the story about the logo? Jerry West, he said, hey, I talked to Jerry West, and he said, what was every couple of years I say one truth.
Yeah, everybody lies.
Every 3 years I say one truth. But we've talked, we were going to talk about this at length about the Lakers. I told you last night, I thought it was like a chess game. And I've seen it over and over and over. The Lakers seem to get the upper hand. It's a lot like that TV show on Netflix, House of Cards. It's so political, and it's so kept. The secrets are kept. And if you don't keep those secrets, it sounds like your career in the NBA is short-lived, for sure. One other caveat. We're talking about Mark Warkentien. He had probably story after story of all the places he's been. But the circle of friends he had in high school, I'm just going to give you a couple. Tony Macy, John Macy, the LeDuc brothers, Mike and Mark LeDuc, they're twin brothers. And then there's a guy named Gary McCord. I think we've all heard of that guy, who's, the clown prince of PGA golf. I mean, the stories that we could share with, I'm going to work to get Gary McCord on the show just because we could hear all the golf stories. Remember, he got kicked off the broadcast of the Masters because he says it was like putting on marble. Remember that? How many
years ago was that?
Probably 15 years ago. They fired Gary McCord after the first round of the Masters because he made a besmirching comment about Augusta
during the tournament.
During the tournament, and he was the number one guy on CBS before Jim Nantz, before anybody. Gary McCord was the voice. I know Gary fairly well. I'm always scared to ask him to come on the show because we have to have a dump button for sure working. But the stories that Mark Warkentien and those Riverside guys have are unbelievable. Like he mentioned the Sire. The Sire's a bar here locally in Riverside that everybody in old school Riverside goes and they make deals. I'm sure there's been deals, NBA deals made at the Sire with Mark Warkentien. Fun stuff.
I find it fascinating.
It's great.
I love the inner workings. I love to learn about behind the scenes kind of stuff because from a media vantage point, we only see and hear what we see and hear, and we try to come up with conclusions like we just told Mark.
Yeah.
And like he said, there's a lot of lies out there. And the information that gets leaked, it's normally not from the teams, it's from the agents.
Yes.
So let's just say, for example, we've got like another minute or two in this segment, Jeff. Let's just say, for example, the Kawhi Leonard situation. We're getting information out. Do you really think the Spurs are like, hey, Pop's going to San Diego to meet with Kawhi? No, it's probably Kawhi's agent saying, hey, Pop's coming to us on our turf to try to mend it.
In fact, Warkentien mentioned the Spurs as being one of those professional organizations that they're tight-lipped. He said Utah was part of that. The Spurs,
all the disciples of the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, and he's mentioned the Lakers. That's why they've been so good. But you notice that the teams that aren't so good are always the teams with the loose lips, sink ships. That's exactly right.
It's a cliche, but it's true.
Yeah. So very cool, though. Very great. I am so happy that I was able to talk to him. It's like I said, every couple of years, it's nice to talk to Stein, as we call him.
That was awesome. I want to get him on again, like after the draft, maybe at least some point this summer or before the NBA season tips off. And because I'm sure between now and the next time we talk to him, the NBA is going to look a lot different because there's going to be guys on the move, guys in new places, big superstars in new uniforms. Like it could look very, very different, including the Knicks. The Knicks could look very different.
Yeah, and I would love to get him in studio just for the fact what he says on the air and what he'll say off the air to us.
Oh, I'd love it.
Will be one of the funnest, most fun experiences you've ever had. Pep, I've been around a lot of people. He's one of those guys that he has a story for everything. He mentioned Bill Mulligan. Bill Mulligan, a living legend here locally that is unappreciated and forgotten, but he brings it back out, and people are going to talk about it. It's great. Great stuff.
And he also gave Cal Baptist a shout out. How'd you like that?
He even knew Rick Roy.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. So good job.
I'm gonna send that to CBU.
Yeah.
Hey, did you hear about this?
I'll have to send that to old Rick Roy. He'll enjoy hearing that.
So the lesson we learned: don't believe everything that's out in the media from NBA teams because it's pretty much all a lie.
And I can't guard a soul.
And we already knew that part.
Yeah,
though.
but I can score.
When we come back, you want to play the Dwight Howard game?
Yes, I do want to play the Dwight Howard game.
We're going to play the Dwight Howard game because he's on the move once again. Reportedly, he's going to be traded. I was hoping we're going to have a trade today. Maybe it was going to be Kawhi, but it wasn't Kawhi. It's Dwight Howard. We'll take it. We'll talk about that and all the places he's been when we come back. It's your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
I played once upon a time at Centennial High School. I was actually on the first ever CIF championship team back in 2000, and then my senior year we won it again. I think that's my passion because I've done it. You know, I know exactly where these athletes are at. I know what their mindset is right now. I know how hard it is to, number one, find a performance coach who can take you to the next level. What sets us apart has to be, you know, how we work with our athletes and what we know. We can take an athlete and you know, help them reach their athletic potential, you know, help them, you know, prevent injuries, help get them stronger. I know every single athlete who steps into this gym. I know exactly where they're at, and I'm going to progress them every week. If you're not getting results, then, you know, really what's it about? We're going to deliver something that's measurable, you know, in terms of speed, power, you know, strength, agility.
Focus on the customer here. Believe it or not, that is the biggest thing for customers on an oil change. They just want the convenience of coming in, driving in, getting it done, and driving out. Just greet them, get them going, and they're done in about 10 minutes or so. We don't push any sales on them. We do the oil change, and I think that's what sets us apart is our customer service. Vacuumed and cleaned your windshield for you as well. Everything's looking pretty good. Come into us one time, believe me, we'll spoil you and you'll be ready to come back the next time.
Thank God, first of all. I thank the great people that I've got around me that help support me, the people that work for me. As I started, if it wasn't for the people around me, we probably wouldn't be here right now, but I've got a great staff. I've got great people that do stuff for us outside the store, and we've been very, very fortunate. Our service is impeccable, and we just keep trying to get better every year. We can do online stuff for your teams, as well as, like I said, the screen printing, the embroidery. We also have 3 women that do extra sewing for us, like tackle tool on uniforms, or the bling or rhinestones for different shirts for the ladies. That's why we have certain racks just for certain schools, and the fun about that is that it turns into other schools that may come in here that aren't as close, that we can do stuff for them as well. We've had very, very good customers throughout the years, and it's just been a blast.
We're a small family-owned, strive for quality pre-owned vehicles. We're not a volume dealer, and we take every deal as personal to us. We're a low-stress environment. We're not a pressure sales house. If you want to shop us, you're more than welcome to shop us. We have, like I said, great rates, competitive financing, a lot of one-owner, clean Carfax, clean title vehicles. As you see, we have Carfax everywhere. That's most important to us, to educate our customers before they make a purchase. We're right off of Ontario, right off a couple exits off the 15 freeway, off Cajalco, off El Cerrito, and we're right on the main drag going into Dos Logos and the crossings. We have great financing, we have great lenders that we're using. We do buy, sell, trade, cash for your car, whatever we need to do to help accommodate the customer, that's what we're here for. We have a little bit of everything. We start at about $69.95 and go all the way up to $100,000. We have Escalades, we have commuters, we have pickup trucks, we have Jeeps, sport utilities, and if we don't have it, our specialty is finding you exactly what you're looking for.
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
Welcome back to the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. We are brought to you by Catalano Motors in Corona off of Temescal Canyon Road. You need a new vehicle in your life? Go check out Catalano Motors. And if you mention the Inland Sports Show, you get $500 off. It's that easy. Yes, we are here to help. We're trying to save you money out there. We love the IE. That's why we go to Catalano Motors off of Temescal Canyon Road in Corona. You can visit them online at CatalanoCars.com. I'm still trying to digest everything Mark Warkentien said because we were talking off the air. He's been part of the Knicks when they brought in Porzingis.
Yes, he's the director of player personnel.
But also he was there when Carmelo Anthony was there, right?
Carmelo, he brought in yeah, I mean, think about it. He had Carmelo with the Nuggets when he came in. This is the beginning of some of the best NBA players in history. Think of another player that he started with in his second year in the league was LeBron James.
Because he was in Cleveland. He was the interim GM, wasn't he? I was looking up his resume. He was the interim GM. I forget who it was. They got fired or whatnot. And he stepped in. Yeah, LeBron James was there. I mean, he's been around some of the biggest names in basketball.
Remember, he was the director of personnel, player personnel. He was the general manager, the assistant general manager, and president of the Portland Trailblazers for 10 seasons. Think of the things that he saw. He had Clyde Drexler during those times, our guy Tracy Murray. Can
we ask Tracy about him?
I'm definitely going to ask him.
They must have had interactions.
Well, I know they do because Warkentien brought a couple coaches up to Portland, Tim Gergovich, after he had retired from UNLV when Tarkanian left. Warkentien brought Tim Gergovich in. Gergovich was a one-time head coach of Portland, stepped down for stress, but he was also an assistant for Portland for many years, so I'm sure their paths have crossed.
That was fun. Cool stuff. That was awesome. Mark made time for us. And then, again, we're going to blow this NBA draft out of the water tomorrow. We've got Tracy Murray in studio. First hour of the show tomorrow on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE will be draft preview.
Draft preview.
The second hour and the third hour, we'll be in the draft. And we'll have Tracy Murray in studio. We're going to break it down. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, it's gonna get really juicy. Trades are gonna be going down. Teams are gonna be moving up in the draft order. I'm hoping it's gonna be really good so we can break it down live on the air.
Well, I'm jockeying to get one of my good friends, a very good friend of mine, Mitchell Butler, who is an agent for a lot of these guys that are going to be in the draft. So maybe we can get him in that first hour. He's best friends with Tracy Murray, for gosh sakes. We can get him on the show. He can talk about some of his guys that could possibly go in the draft. He's got all of the UCLA guys. He's got Holiday. He's got Golemon. He's got everybody from the West Coast. So we'll see if Mitchell Butler can join us and talk about the draft. But Pep, I have a game I want to play with you.
Hold on. Before we get to the Dwight Howard game, because I really want to play it. I'm excited about this, and I did not cheat.
Better not.
I'm like the most truthful guy, Jeff, you will ever meet.
You are like, you know what? You're like Jerry West. You just tell the truth.
Every 3 or 4 years.
Every 3 or 4 years, I'm going to tell the truth.
So I went down the rabbit hole. I got on Twitter because I like to see what's trending. I want to make sure we don't miss anything.
Okay.
There's people stuck in their cars right now on the 215 and the 10 freeway. They rely on us to bring them the very latest here in the Inland Empire in the big national headlines. That's why we're here every single day, 3 to 6 p.m. Okay, so I went down the rabbit hole because I don't know if you saw this. I'm a Star Wars guy. You're a Star Wars guy. Lucasfilm has put all of the Star Wars spinoffs on hold. They have been suspended.
I saw that. I saw that earlier today, but it was from one of our guys we follow on YouTube, and I didn't know.
But now there's a lot. Everyone's talking about it now. So the Obi-Wan, the Boba Fett, everything's been put on hold. I guess because Solo tanked.
But I kind of like it though. I don't think that we should have a new Star Wars movie or a Star Wars TV show. I think it just needs to be something that we have to look forward to. I don't mind waiting every 3 or 4 years as long as it's not near my death. I'm good.
I don't get as excited. Like, I did not get nearly excited for Rogue One and Solo like I did episode 7 or 8. Like, when the episodic ones come out, like, I freak out. Like, I'm already counting down the days to episode 9.
Yes.
But when Solo came out, I was like, yeah, I'll go see it. I don't know. Didn't have the same feel to me.
I love Solo. I'm probably one of the only few that did, besides my son. But I enjoyed it just because of the backstory. But, yeah, I think that they need to put the kibosh, maybe change a little bit of the leadership. I don't want to see a ruined Johnson trilogy. I just don't want to see it.
It's going to happen, though.
Maybe not.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what this means. But, yes, the Lucasfilms put the hold on all the Star Wars spin-off movies. So that's what I was looking at on Twitter. Then I went down the rabbit hole. Well, I don't know. Yoda could be in the episode 9, but
Boba Fett would have been a good one.
He still might.
Yeah, he was eating in the Sarlacc. Blah.
So I went down the rabbit hole. I was looking at Star Wars. The next 2 things trending on Twitter, and I'm just going to mention them because I don't even want to talk about them. Larry Nance Jr. gets married wearing Yeezys and Lululemon pants. What are Lululemon pants? Does anyone know what those
Yellow
are? Is that like
pants?
designer pants?
Come on.
And then underneath that, the headline says, Nick Young says cocaine should be legal.
Yeah, that's old Nick Young for you. There you go, buddy.
There you go. That's what's trending out there. All right, let's play the Dwight Howard game. I love
Okay, here we go. Before today, actually, I'm not even going to count this. I'm going to let you figure this one out yourself. You have 1 minute and 30 seconds to name the 7 teams that Dwight Howard played for.
Okay, I'm going to attempt to go in order.
Okay, here we go. Ready? I'm going to put you on the clock.
Okay.
Here we go. Ready?
Yep.
Go.
Okay, so he started in Orlando. Can I get help in the room? Do I have like call a friend or?
You can call me and I'm going to laugh at you.
Okay, he started in Orlando.
Okay.
And then I believe he went straight to the Lakers.
Okay.
Then he went to Houston.
Yes.
Now it gets a little foggy. It's getting a little murky.
I can give you a hint.
I feel like Bilbo Baggins trapped deep in the woods. I can't see anything beyond the fog and the trees. I'm stuck. It's getting murky.
You don't tell him.
But
good. It's his hometown.
Atlanta.
Hometown. Okay, there you go. There you go.
Thank you, Gandalf.
Oh yeah, he's just whispered Atlanta.
Okay,
hey, stop it!
Orlando, the Lakers, Houston, Atlanta. Was it the Charlotte Bobcats?
Yes, or the Hornets.
But he went there when they were the Bobcats, I think, right? And then they turned into the Hornets?
No. This
Are
is
those
this
two
year.
separate teams?
Yes. No. Yeah. This was the Hornets. And
wait, hold on.
You've got them all except for one.
There's an and we're not talking about the Nets, right?
There you go. That was your.
Oh, that's the one he got.
That you got all 7 with 20.
Wait, that's not 7.
Yeah, it is.
Wait, Orlando,
Lakers, Houston, Atlanta, Charlotte,
New Jersey. That's 6.
6. Okay, 6 teams. Sorry.
But I think there's a caveat. I think he was on the Bobcats and then he was on the Hornets. Still Charlotte.
Is that how they did it?
I don't know. It might be because I think when he first got to Charlotte, they may have still been the Bobcats.
You could be correct.
And then they changed the name, the colors. They went back to the Charlotte Hornets, which is good because that's how I remember the Charlotte Hornets.
Yes. Dwight Howard is one of those guys. This is his 4th team in 4 years. He's been traded on the same day the last 2 years. The one thing you could say about Dwight Howard is what a phenomenal athlete, but he's the one player that never seemed to grow up or was never comfortable in his own skin. Remember, he was very conservative Christian high school. He was, if we're talking like Mark Warkentien said, a 17, 18-year-old kid given millions of dollars. He went off the deep end when he made that money. He has 5, and this is common knowledge, so I'm not ripping the guy. He has 5 children with 5 different women, never married. They're across from the east to west, all over. He just never seemed to get any better. If you think about it, his free throw percentage never got any better. He always hovered, right around 50%. He's actually a 45 career free throw shooter. Great rebounder, but even that has dipped below 12.
He was never the same guy when he left Orlando.
No.
Never.
And he was always one of those guys that complained it was never good enough, never good enough. And then he comes to L.A. and he plays with a guy named Kobe Bryant. You don't like Kobe. A lot of guys don't like Kobe, but a lot of guys realize the hard work that Kobe put into being a good player. Every single season, Kobe worked on his game, and that every part of his game got better as the years went on. He tried to mentor Dwight Howard. They also brought in Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, if you remember. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was an assistant coach that year with the Lakers.
Didn't they say they were going to hang his jersey from the Raptors one day? Was that him or was that Andrew Bynum?
Was that
both of them?
That was probably him and the Ball brother. But they brought Kareem in to work extensively with Dwight Howard. And I don't know if you remember this, but they would set up practices, and he never showed up to work with the greatest center of all time to teach him the skyhook, just to work on his offensive skill set, which if you look at Dwight Howard, he wanted to be a face-to-basket player, but he had back-to-the-basket moves. He never got better, and the caveat on him was from Kobe Bryant. If you recall, you still can look it up. The meme was, "You are soft." You remember him reaching or yelling across the court to him when he was in Houston and said, "You were soft." That has always carried him. Right. He never has been comfortable in his skin. He's always worried about what people thought of the way he played, and he just never, ever got better. And it's sad to see a guy like that waste so much talent in so many years in different spots.
Reportedly, Dwight Howard going to the Nets in a trade. And it's funny because they said they've got Darren Williams. They said, Darren Williams and Dwight Howard on the Nets.
They were supposed to do that.
2011.
Yes, 2011. That was the year they said they were going to be a super team. Never happened.
When we come back, we'll talk a little high school football. We'll jump back into baseball as well. Where will Manny Machado go? Could he be a Dodger? We'll talk about that next when we come back. It's your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
How you guys doing? Coach Bass here. We're back at the BPC continuing our series on building power. Today we're going to demonstrate a speed squat, and there's 3 aspects of this. There's a slow eccentric, an isometric, and a fast concentric. Now, concentric is going on the way up, and it's got to be fast and explosive as possible. So what Zach's going to do, he's going to get under the bar. All right, those thumbs around Zach. All right, he's going to go ahead and lift off. He's going to give me a 2-1-X tempo. He's going to go down slow, pause, then faster. Good. What I'm really looking for here is bar speed. All right, that pause. And like I said, we're working 3 different elements of strength, right? We got that slow eccentric on the way down, that pause, and then faster. This is a great drill to turn all that strength gain in the offseason to power. So like I said, this is a great drill that actually works on 3 different aspects of strength. All right, we got that slow eccentric going down. We got that isometric pause, that fast concentric going up. So while it maximizes power, we're still hitting 3 different elements of strength. We do it right here at Boost. Today's tip is all about the speed squat, and what I want to talk about is how we progress this exercise here at Boost. So we showed you guys a 2-1-X tempo that was going down for 2 seconds, pause 1, and then that fast concentric coming up. So what we'll do is over time, we'll play with the tempos a little bit, and we'll go from a 2-1-X to a 1-1-X tempo going down 1 second, pausing for 1 second coming up, or we'll go with an X1-X tempo with a quick eccentric, isometric contraction, and then we'll come up with the fast concentric. So a lot of different ways that we like to progress our athletes. Building strong and powerful athletes is what we do right here at Boost. Grind hard, stay solid.
Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
What time is it, guys?
Time for you to get a watch. You do have a watch. It's a big watch, though. It's huge.
I only break it out when I'm trying to get a little dressy. Like we did the UCR basketball games. I'd have one of my real fancy, expensive suits on. I'd wear my watch. If I'm going to go, talk to a school, talk about inland sports and sports broadcast, wear like a really nice, heavily starched polo shirt and cleaners. I'll wear my watch.
Yeah, it's a nice watch. I thought about taking it from you a few times.
Did?
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to mug me?
Yeah, I was just going to take it from you because I figured you probably would just fight me, but eventually you would stop fighting me. I just take your watch.
I'm pretty persistent.
You could be, but it's just I would just beat you down.
Kind of like is it the Badger or the Wolverine?
It's but either one. Either one. Yeah. Wolverines are the tough. I think they're the same thing actually. But yeah, I do. I think Badgers and Wolverines are the same thing.
They're not.
They are too. I think a Badger is a large.
Different.
No, but I think they're the same.
I'm picturing the Wisconsin and the Michigan mascots right now.
With the big hair coming out of their ears kind of thing?
Different.
But not much. I think they're the same family. I think they might be the same creature. It's just one might be. Yeah, I'm telling you. I think they are the same creature and same
I think
family.
It's the Wolverine that they say pound for pound is like the toughest animal on the planet.
Yeah, they fight.
The Wolverine?
Well, they fight cobras and
They're
stuff.
just angry.
Yeah, they can kill cobras.
That's a mongoose.
Mongoose.
Same family?
Same family, yeah.
I don't know. We could be talking out our butts. Right?
Yeah, mongoose can kill. Ricky Tikki Tavi.
Oh, wait,
That's right.
Is that a kid's book?
Yes. Yeah, Jungle Book. That's right. Look at Greg. You know what? Pop culture legend. What we really need to do, honestly.
I thought he ruined his brain on all the Creed.
No.
He still has.
No.
Unbelievable.
You know what we need to do? Honestly, I just thought of this just now. Sometimes smartness comes in this brain. We need to go. They have these big trivia. They have trivia. They have trivia nights at some of these sports bars, and they win good money.
They do?
You've never heard about this? You haven't either, Kono?
No.
Greg has. I know Greg has.
No. Kono's lying. I think he's lying because I remember being on we'll call it a field trip down to spring training together, and I think we ate at some place that did one of those.
Yes. And they're big money. They do it in Riverside. There's a couple places I won't mention.
Big money?
Big money.
Big money?
Yes.
Let's go.
If you and I.
Let's go.
Okay.
We're the ringers.
Here's the deal. It's like $500 you can win.
No.
Yeah, and they do it like 2-3 times a week.
Sports?
No. Here's the deal. Pop culture, sports, and music.
The four of us together, we put our brains together.
We have the two smartest music guys we know, and you and I are the smart sports guys.
Well, I know a lot of sports.
And we know a lot about movies. They do movies, TV, sports, music. I'm telling you, man, we have a team right here.
Can we do this?
4 guys. We can do it.
Let's do this.
The only problem is I think they do it during our show.
That's early.
That is early. But
nobody's even out yet.
Oh, no, people are. Well, they start about 6, but there is a place, I'll tell you off there, we should do it one night. Show up as the inland sports team.
We have like team shirts.
Yes.
We'll have like matching shirts.
Yes. But I did it. My brother.
Like those families at Disneyland that all match, you don't get lost. That'll be us.
Yeah. Well, my brother plays at New Hampshire. I guess because it rains and snows a lot in all the sports bars, they have like a league. And every week they do it. We need to do it. There's a place here in Riverside that doesn't, and I want to go dominate everybody in Riverside.
What would be our color?
Blue.
Brown.
We can't even agree.
I'm colorblind.
Our first question, and we couldn't even agree here.
That's so funny. Yeah, I don't know. I'm colorblind, so I'll just wear anything you guys give me. As long as I'm not wearing corduroy. Any kind of corduroy.
I picture us like, how like those high schools go to like those brain bowls, like those those competitions.
Oh yeah, the academic decathlon.
Yeah, brain bowls, decathlons, whatever you want to call them. I picture that's us all sitting together in one booth.
Dude, yeah.
Together.
Yes.
One answer.
That's what you do, man. I'm telling you. And you get, even if you don't win, you get your food paid for, your drinks paid for. Oh, it's fantastic. Oh, I'm not kidding around. I did it locally here, and I won free drinks the entire night. I had to get an Uber home, but it was a really good time. We could get free pizza. Oh, yeah, we got to do it. There's the team Inland Sports Team.
I'm in because I'm into big money.
Big money. $500, man. There's only 4 of us. Get 125 each.
$125. You know how many oil changes you could get at Spoiled for that?
A lot of at Spoiled.
You could go to Spoiled right now. I know you're probably sitting in traffic. Go get your oil change. You're way overdue. It's right there off of Alessandro Boulevard. Get your oil changed at Spoiled every 3,000 or 5,000 miles. Everybody's got to do it. You can't avoid it. If you do, you're going to break down the side of the road. Nobody wants that. Spoiled. Quick quality oil change.
How about a little foosball here, a little high school football? Listen, we've been sprinkling in some high school football, and we will continue to do so over the course of the next several days and weeks as we get ready for the 2018 foosball season. Jeff, to your immediate right, what do you see?
My name.
Right above that.
Oh!
And I'm not talking about the Slurmaid, the sloth mermaid picture.
The Slurmaid.
Or the Bigfoot.
Or the Bigfoot.
The Inland Sports All-Star Game.
No, there's a lot of things. I got a bunch of stuff.
Or Kylo Ren's mask.
Oh, Kylo Ren?
You know what? We got a lot of junk in here. I feel like we're hoarders.
I love it. Tim Hatch's head?
We got Tim Hatch's head.
No! It's right here. It's this Norco number 31 jersey, and it smells like it's 31. I sit next to it every day. I'm like, what does that smell? It's just the 31.
It's the jersey.
It's the jersey, number 31. That represents what, Pep?
31 straight years that Norco has made the playoffs. We hang it proudly here in the studio. We had Norco High School football in studio during the last season. They could have brought any jersey in, but they brought the number 31 because, hey, they said, we love the Inland Sports Show. We're proud of our playoff streak. It's 31 years in a row. Hang it proudly inside that Inland Sports Studio at Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. So that's what we did. It's got a prime spot. It's a beautiful jersey, and we put the Kylo Ren mask right on top. It's a match made in heaven. I love seeing it every single day I walk into this studio. I kiss my fingertips, and I touch the Norco jersey just for good luck.
Yeah,
just so we have a good show.
You touch your finger, you kiss your fingertips?
Yeah, doesn't everybody?
No.
Go.
No.
Like that.
No.
Like that, like Sammy Sosa. Remember Sammy Sosa?
Yeah, not me. I don't want to ever put I know where my hands have been. I'm not putting them anywhere near my mouth. That is weird and dirty. Just dirty and filthy.
I'm a big hand sanitizer guy.
Yeah, I'm a big hand washer guy. But yeah, big news with the old high school football coming up. Do you think they make it 32 in a row?
From what I've heard, I've talked to people around the Norco program and folks in the Big 8 League. Norco's going to be really good.
Well, they should be. They have a guy who was all league last year, a fantastic quarterback, Nick Lasher, who could throw it a country mile. Our guy, Vinny Fazio, loved him last year. And I got to see him twice covering Riverside TV. He is a phenomenal athlete, a lot like Tim Tebow. Can run, can throw, can do it all for Norco.
Now, I've heard they're going to have a great offense. And listen, Norco always has size. I don't know what they feed them out there, but they're always giant out there in Norco.
They sacrifice cows. I've told you this. Once a week, the offensive line, they get up on Sunday morning before church, and a family of Norco leaves an animal, usually a big steer. Because you don't want to call them a cow. They're steers.
Sure.
And you leave it out there, you put a rope on it, and then the offensive line, sometime in the middle of the night, like the chupacabra, come and they devour it whole. They just eat it right there. That makes them tough, and it gains bulk, and they do it once a week. So
That's why they're so big.
That's why they're so big and so good in Horsetown, USA.
Well, 31 years in a row they've made the playoffs. I would bet it's going to be 32 years in a row. They look really good this year. They do have to replace the great Travis Dye, the running back they had out there. He was a fantastic running back. But I've heard, my sources are telling me, their offense is going to be loaded. They're big. Don't forget, they're Division II. Norco can make a serious run at the CIF Southern Section Division II championship this year. I'm hoping we're going to hang a number 32 jersey in here in our little studio, because I think it's going to be 32 years in a row. That is an Inland Empire record. 31 years in a row.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's a lot like Woodcrest Christians made won the CIF in cross country like 30 years in a row. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Temecula Valley has something similar in wrestling.
Yes.
Like, there's just some programs that are dominant, like the sun rising in the east. You can just pencil them in. Pencil Norco in for the playoffs 32 years in a row this fall.
And there could be a quarterback controversy at Norco. Like I just mentioned, the great Nick Lasher, one of the best quarterbacks in the area, might be in for some a little bit of heady competition.
Yeah, Shane Illingsworth has transferred into Norco, who's the former Centennial guy, former Corona guy. He was
Villa
at
Park.
Villa Park, so we'll have to see how that plays out there at Norco High School. One other thing I want to touch on real quick, because, again, we'll be talking high school football a lot in the coming days and weeks. Several people have asked me online about the new Rain Cross Conference. Actually, Jeff, do you remember this? We broke the news.
We were the first people to announce
was it.
it.
December or January? Or it was months ago. We broke the news about the Rain Cross Conference, but people have been asking me, what's the Rain Cross Conference? Like, which teams are in each league? So let's just go over that real quickly. The Rain Cross Conference contains 14 teams, and they do it by 3 different leagues.
In football.
In football, actually for all sports, and it's all different.
Basketball, they've decided to go 2 leagues of 7.
They did?
They did.
So
they
that's
did.
a little bit different.
That's a little different. I did hear that this week when I was out watching some schools.
Daryl Trujillo's working on the volleyball Rain Cross Conference preview because, again, the teams are going to fall in different leagues, but this is just for football, and it's really juicy. I love it. The Rain Cross Conference, the top league is the Ivy League.
As well it should be.
It's Heritage, Paloma Valley, the Rancho Verde, and Valley View. That's really good. That's good football.
Yes.
The middle league. This is like the Jello ball, the middle ball.
No, it's not because it's good. It's
this
good.
is good.
Yeah.
Yes,
take that back.
This is good football. This is good. This is the Sun Belt League. The Sun Belt League will be Notre Dame, Arlington, Elsinore, and Temescal Canyon. And the final league inside of the Rain Cross Conference is the Inland Valley League. Canyon Springs, JW North, Lakeside, Orange Vista, Paris, and Riverside Poly. So I know a lot of people have been talking about it. They had questions who's in what league. Again, this is going to be different from sport to sport. This is just for football, but this is what the Rain Cross Conference will look like this fall. And I'm really excited about the Ivy League. Those Heritage Paloma Valley games we've seen for since they've been in the Sun Belt League have been awesome. But now we're going to see Heritage and Rancho Verde go head-to-head every single year. Heritage also has Cajon in non-league play. We're going to talk about the best non-league matchup another day. But Heritage has a great schedule. Now we get to see them play Rancho Verde every single year.
And remember this. Heritage went undefeated the entire time they were in this Sun Belt. They went 8 straight years without a loss in league.
We got the shirt over here on the wall that says it.
That is 40 wins in a row in conference, and they will not be in the same league. So they dominated 8 years in the Sun Belt.
The Sun Belt having never lost.
Pretty incredible stat right there.
Now there's the Ivy League, which I know a lot of people are like, that's cool. Bringing the Ivy League back. The Ivy League was a big deal in this area. Now there's an Ivy League back. All right, and we'll talk a lot of high school football in the coming days. We're going to talk about our favorite quarterbacks in the area. Maybe a dark horse, like a Cinderella team that can make a run to the CIF title. Some of the best matchups. There's some really good non-league matchups coming up this fall in August, September, and leading into October as we get to league play. But when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, we're going back to Major League Baseball. Where will Manny Machado end up? Could it be the Dodgers? Or is there a team out there that wants to block the Dodgers? Plus some bizarre injuries for a couple closers. These guys are getting hurt in pretty random ways. I mean, I get it. When you get older, you just kind of get hurt with just like sleeping in your bed at night. These guys got hurt, and it's kind of whack. We'll talk about it. Your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show, on Fox Sports IE, 1350.
This bumper's gonna go on the wall of my garage, carnal. I'm gonna put
We focus on the customer here. Believe it or not, that is the biggest thing for customers on an oil change. They just want the convenience of coming in, driving in, getting it done, and driving out. We just greet them, get them going, and they're done in about 10 minutes or so. We don't push any sales on them. We do the oil change, and I think that's what sets us apart is our customer service. vacuumed and cleaned your windshield for you as well. Everything's looking pretty good. You come into us one time, believe me, we'll spoil you and you'll be ready to come back the next time.
We're a small family-owned, strive for quality pre-owned vehicles. We're not a volume dealer, and we take every deal as personal to us. We're a low-stress environment. We're not a pressure sales house. If you want to shop us, you're more than welcome to shop us. We have, like I said, great rates, competitive financing, a lot of one-owner, clean Carfax, clean title vehicles. As you see, we have Carfax everywhere. That's most important to us, to educate our customers before they make a purchase. We're right off of Ontario, right off a couple exits off the 15 freeway, off Cajelco, off El Cerrito, and we're right on the main drag going into Dos Logos and the Crossings. We have great financing, we have great lenders that we're using. We do buy, sell, trade, cash for your car. Whatever we need to do to help accommodate the customer, that's what we're here for. We have a little bit of everything. We start at about $69.95 and go all the way up to $100,000. We have Escalades, we have commuters, we have pickup trucks, we have Jeeps, sport utilities, and if we don't have it, our specialty is finding you exactly what you're looking for.
Thank God, first of all. I thank the great people that I've got around me that help support me, the people that work for me. As I started, if it wasn't for the people around me, we probably wouldn't be here right now, but I've got a great staff. I've got great people that do stuff for us outside the store, and we've been very, very fortunate. Our service is impeccable, and we just keep trying to get better every year. We can do online stuff for your teams, as well as, like I said, the screen printing, the embroidery. We also have 3 women that do extra sewing for us, like tackle tool on uniforms, or the bling or rhinestones for different shirts for the ladies. That's why we have certain racks just for certain schools, and the fun about that is that it turns into other schools that may come in here that aren't as close, that we can do stuff for them as well. We've had very, very good customers throughout the years, and it's just been a blast.
here on this hump day. Proudly brought to you by our good friends Ken Sporting Goods, one of the sporting distributors. Oh my goodness. It's been a long time. That's not by accident because they hooked it all the way up from all the down. Hey, you gotta look at this. Magic shirt. I like that big thing. Always like the bright colors, and it's a huge family. Like,
Yeah.
they all match.
There must be a website. Do you have those shirts? I thought you had those shirts.
Oh well.
Yeah, you do.
My wife got special ones that have like the.
Yeah. I think I remember those.
Not quite that.
But where do you get those? Must be a website, or do you go through Disney itself? Because I think I need those shirts. No.
But you can go to Ken's, you can outfit your whole team. Ken's Sporting Goods.com right there. Go. Drive a picture. There it is.
They sell more bats than you can throw a bat at. There are so many of them. They sell softball bats, baseball bats, pro bats, wood bats, every kind of bat they have. Every bat. Oh, the last day was today.
I only have a wooden bat. I don't have.
You're like a major leaguer.
And I'm like, listen, take the wooden bat. All the other kids are not going to have a wooden bat. Just take it, though.
A 36-ounce bat for a little tiny girl.
At least you know it's yours, right?
Yeah, it was like a t-ball bat. It was a small bat. But long story short, they didn't hit with it. They just practiced.
Oh. Did she have fun on her last day?
Nope.
Nope.
All right, to baseball now. And the Diamondbacks and the Orioles are very interested in making a deal with one another and bringing Manny Machado to Arizona. And I guess it makes sense for the D-backs because think about this. They are in the hunt to win the National League West. They look like a playoff team. But their shortstop and third baseman, not very good this year. So if they bring in Manny Machado, who's arguably probably the top 3 players, if you had to say that, I'd say top 4. Right now, I would say Manny Machado, Mike Trout tops the list. You got to put Mookie Betts in there. But Manny Machado's probably top 3, maybe top 4 players.
I agree.
In the league. But they're saying, okay, Arizona needs him. We get that. But maybe they would go after him for the simple fact that he'd be like a loner for the rest of the year. Maybe they would just go get him to block the Dodgers. Because the Dodgers have had any interest in Manny Machado as well. The Orioles stink. I mean, they're really bad. And this guy is a primetime player in his prime. Arizona Diamondbacks could use Manny Machado, but they could also just simply block the Dodgers from getting Manny Machado.
Now, would they have to trade to get him? And they might have to give up some assets because they are right at the cap. I think they're over the cap.
It's kind of the Kawhi Leonard thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like, how bad do you want him this year? Are you going all in on this season? Be like, we'll give up some young guys because we want to make this run this season.
What if they said we want Justin Turner?
No doubt.
Do you go with that?
You can't do that.
Why couldn't you do that?
What if you give him
Who's the better player, Justin Turner or Manny Machado? So you would not make that trade.
No, man.
Exactly.
If they said
Bellinger and Peterson.
Logan Forsythe,
Shoot it.
or Peterson, yeah, shoot your shot.
Or Yasiel Puig, Peterson.
Ooh, now we're getting real juicy.
Would you get rid of Peterson,
Because Yasiel Puig's
Puig?
kind of been on that trade block for a long time, right? Like,
Yeah.
He hasn't really lived up.
And maybe you probably have to give up an arm. How about maybe Rich Hill,
Oh, he pitched great.
Ryu, even though he's got chicken off the bone on his groin? Or maybe even Walker Buehler. What if they said we want Walker Buehler?
No.
So you don't give up Walker Buehler. How about a straight trade, Walker Buehler for Machado?
No.
You don't?
I wouldn't do it. Is that crazy?
Okay, how about this? He's in the last year of his contract. Clayton Kershaw. Ever? Why?
I think of all the untouchables on that team, it might be, for me at least, I think it would be Kershaw, Buehler, and I know Justin Turner, his production is not as good as Manny Machado's. It's not even close.
And he can play that spot.
I know, but I like him on the team. I think everyone else, if you told me Jock Peterson, actually Corey Seager, I think I'd keep around too. But if you told me like Jock Peterson, Yasiel Puig, Bellinger's on the fence for me, I might want to keep him, I might not. Muncy, I don't know, man.
Well, Muncy would be a no-brainer because this is really the first time he's played this well. Remember, he was out of baseball last year. Was cut during training camp with Oakland, and then got on with the Dodgers this year. You kind of wonder if it's just lightning in a bottle for the time being, because we saw Peterson, we've seen Bellinger and Puig have the same kind of success that Max Muncy has had. But I'll tell you what, there would be nobody off the. I would trade.
If you ran the Dodgers,
yeah,
and the Orioles said, "Hey, we got Manny Machado, top 3 players in the game right now."
I'd get rid of Kershaw for him.
You would?
I would trade Kershaw for him. The reason I would trade Kershaw for him because Kershaw is getting older. He's had more injuries than any pitcher we've seen. He's had back injuries. He's had shoulder injuries, and the only thing left is the elbow. That will be the next thing to go. So I would trade him because listen,
Colton would lose its mind.
No, they would not. They would get Machado.
Pound for pound, more Dodger fans in Colton than anywhere else on the
I
planet.
understand that, but I still think it's a good trade for Kershaw for Machado. If it happens, just say that I said it, because he is on the. Yeah, that would be my guy. I would trade him.
I wouldn't trade Kershaw. I wouldn't trade Walker Buehler, and I think Turner.
You wouldn't go.
We need our
But Bueller, though, is remember, he's recovering from Tommy John surgery. He is 2 years removed from Tommy John surgery. He is one surgery. You can bounce back, but what if it happens again? Hey, you got a guy who can play infield, can hit bombs, can get on base, can score you runs. Or you have a guy that could possibly get a second Tommy John surgery. But keeps me up at night. Yeah.
With the Knicks, from a basketball perspective, these are the things you have to consider. Like, are you all in this year? You want to bring in Manny Machado for like the final 3 months of the season? Or you're like, you know what? I think we're going to be pretty good for the long run. We're not going all in this year, but we're going to be good for a long time. Let's keep our young core.
Okay.
You're going to have to give up something for Manny Machado.
As a Dodger fan, you want to get over that hump. How many years have they won this the West?
5 years?
5 years in a row. So you're telling me that would you have a shot to get yourself over the hump? They were in Game 7. They were in Game 7, but they're also playing in a very poor American or National League West conference. It's a bad. National League West is bad. How good are they going to stack up against the other teams in the National League? How would they stack up right now? If we were to play head-to-head right now against the Houston Astros and the Dodgers, there is no question in my mind that the Houston Astros would wipe the floor with the Los Angeles Dodgers.
I'll say this. There's not a single team in the National League that'll stop the Dodgers. No, there won't. The best teams in baseball right now are in the American League. Yankees, Red Sox, and Houston. I feel like the Dodgers might have a cakewalk to the World Series. And I say cakewalk very loosely, because of course they're going to be bad. But I feel like they've got a really good path to get back to the World Series. The American League, the playoffs are going to be an absolute battle for Middle Earth. You got the Red Sox, the Yankees, and the Astros. You got to go through all those teams just to get to the World Series. The American League, that's brutal. I think the Dodgers have a clear path.
Stop. The Atlanta Braves have come out of nowhere this year. Am I wrong? The Atlanta Braves are young. They're
You know who their cleanup hitter is?
No, that's the beauty of it.
Nick Markakis.
It doesn't matter. They're 43-30. They're 43-30, and they're leading a good Washington Nationals team that has supposedly one of the best players in baseball and one of the best and two of the best pitchers in baseball.
National League is bad this year.
National League right now.
The Cubs are bad. Braves are bad.
The Brewers are not bad, and the Cubs are in first place.
The Phillies are bad.
The Brewers are insanely good.
The Pirates are bad.
Thames hits absolute bombs. They have Will Kane from Kansas City Royals in center field.
Trade anyone for Machado. Anyone on that Dodger team.
All right, real quick. I'm going to tease this.
Okay.
Cubs closer, Brandon Morrow, who I believe is a former Dodger, right?
Yes.
He's on the 10-day DL because he strained his back putting on his pants. If you're an old guy, you get it. It can happen. And then we had Giants closer, Hunter Strickland. He broke his hand. He needed surgery. He's going to be out like 2 months because
He's like LeBron James. He should have just came out and said, look, guys, I lost that game because my hand was jacked up. That's it. Come out with a soft cap. Hey, how many guys have we seen in history, though, that have had accidents, supposed accidents, and I'm putting in quotations, lies? Oh, I can't wait.
I punched the car. I get it. You get mad.
You punched the car, Pep? Who won? Oh, that's all right then.
All right, we'll be back. We'll talk about some bizarre baseball injuries like Morrow, like Strickland. We'll come back and we'll update you on the Dodgers. They did play a funny game against the Cubs. We'll be back on the Inland Sports Show. Fox Sports ID 1350.
Yo.
Hello, Short.
You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Corum.
Welcome back to the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. Finish up strong here on this Wednesday. We're brought to you by our good friends at Boost Performance Training in Corona. We love you, Ray Bass. They got some great coaches out there. Athletes of all levels and all sports. Everybody's going out to Boost Performance Training. You can follow them on Instagram and Twitter. Keep up with all the things they're doing out there. They got a strength and speed class. You want to be faster and stronger? They can help you out for your sport. That's Boost Performance Training in Corona with Ray Bass. BoostTrainingSystems.com. Check out the website and go to the Inland Sports Channel. We got some Boost training tips. Help you out. Be a better athlete.
I can go and I'll work on my skills.
Hey, Jeff, I got a question for you.
I have an answer for you, Pep.
So, when you look at the NBA, would you say the Western Conference is across the board stronger than the Eastern Conference?
Yes.
Okay. That's the same exact thing in baseball. The American League is better than the National League.
Well, normally I would agree with you because I'm an American League guy, but I think that you've discounted the teams that beat each other up in the National League.
Nope. Wait. Who's the team? You and Kono. We're talking about,
Atlanta.
Atlanta's really good, right? Oh, you know what? Let's check on the Braves today. It's interleague play. Oh, they were playing the Blue Jays, who are in the American League, in the American League East, who I've said is the toughest league in baseball. And the Blue Jays are 5 games under 500. Oh, they were playing the Braves. Oh, they beat the Braves today. Oh, man, did I call my shot?
One game.
It's a snapshot of the world that we're living in right now. The American League's way better than the National League.
But you're a National League guy. You're a Dodger fanatic.
I am.
Aren't you a Dodger fan? Or are you?
I'm a Mets fan to the bone. Listen, we've already talked about this. I like really bad teams. I can't help it. It's just, it is what it is.
So
you're an underdog.
I'm an underdog. I got a chip on my shoulder.
So you would put my Angels, who are 4 games over 500. Would you put them against anybody in the National League?
Sure.
They have abysmal pitching. Abysmal.
Yeah.
But the National League has guys.
Who?
The Washington Nationals has
who?
The best.
Steven Strasburg? Scherzer?
Yeah, those two guys are great. You don't think Scherzer is phenomenal?
Okay.
Scherzer might be the best pitcher right now in baseball.
Yeah, but you line up against Houston, and they're going to roll out Verlander, Keuchel, Garrett Cole. It's like apples and oranges.
Oh, stop it. Just stop
The American League's way better. The American League is the Western Conference.
Not even close.
In baseball,
Not even close. Hey, are we going to talk about these great sports injuries? I have some good ones.
Real quick. The Dodgers did lose to Chicago this morning. It was a morning game. They wrapped up the 3-game series. The Cubs take 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers. 4-zip was the final score this morning. So, big win for the Cubs there. Tough loss for the Dodgers. Okay, so we were talking about bizarre injuries. We just went over a couple. The Giants closer slammed his hand against the wall. He broke his hand. He needed surgery. The Brandon Morrow, the closer for the Cubs, former Dodger, strained his back, putting on his pants. I haven't done that, but sometimes I'll twist real weird, put my shirt on. I'll be like, oh, pull a muscle in my back.
I coughed one time and blew out my back.
You did?
Yeah, I did. I was coughing so bad that I hurt I had to go to Jim Clover, and Jim Clover said I hurt my rhomboid. I was coughing. Yeah, my rhomboid. It's the muscles that go along your spine. And I pulled them by coughing so badly. I could not move for like a week. I pulled a rhomboid by coughing. But I'll tell you what. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, do you remember when Jeff Kent was playing for the Dodgers? Yeah, he was with the Dodgers at the time. Or was it? Well,
I think it was the Giants.
He was with San Francisco.
I think he was with San Francisco.
And he said he was washing his truck and fell off the truck and hurt it,
Where's Maury Povich when you need him? To hook him up to the lie detector test?
Yes.
You did not fall off your truck.
He was riding. In fact, there was multiple eyewitnesses that says that Jeff Kent was popping wheelies along the interstate, And it was him because it was pre-helmet days. So they were like, hey, look at Jeff Kent pulling wheelies. And he crashed and hurt himself.
We got 2 good minutes. Give me the best bizarre injuries to baseball players.
Okay, here we go. Ricky Henderson. Ricky Henderson was just traded to
one of the all-time best.
One of the all-time best was traded to the Toronto Blue Jays. He was depressed. He was icing his ankle and fell asleep, and he had frostbite on his ankle. So he missed 9 games due to frostbite.
I don't remember that.
And then Carl Pavano. Do you remember him?
Yeah, I do remember him. Pitcher,
okay.
right?
Yes.
Pitcher, yeah.
He was shoveling his driveway in the winter in 2012. He fell on the shovel, lacerated his spleen, and his lung collapsed.
What?
Yes.
On a shovel?
He had 6.5 liters of blood drained from his chest.
Really?
Yes. He subsequently had to retire from it.
Oh.
And since then had to buy. I hope he went out and bought a snowblower rather than doing that. But Carl Pavano's career was ended by cleaning the driveway to his house.
My lungs hurt.
Yeah. Could you imagine your lungs filling up with blood?
No.
Yeah.
You got another one?
Now let's see here. We got.
I love the bizarre injuries because there's always 1 or 2 every single season.
Okay. Well, the guy Jeff Bloom, Jeff spelled with a G, broke his ribs while putting on a shirt. He had loose bodies floating around, so he was done. He was on the DL for the entire year.
Oh, he had loose what?
He had loose bodies. So there was broken bones from him taking off his shirt. He broke his ribs.
And these are professional athletes.
Yeah. Let's see. You remember Joel Zumaya?
Yes.
Okay. Nobody had ever been more snake bit than Joel Zumaya, the flame-throwing Tigers reliever whose body never simply was meant to do more than sit in front of a desk all day. His weirdest injury by far happened during the 2006 playoffs when the rookie strained his wrist by playing too much Guitar Hero. He retired shortly after that.
He did?
Yes, he did.
He probably lost out on money.
Yeah.
Hope you like that Guitar
Hero, man. I was never into I always played the silly games like Atari 1600. But yes, Ricky Henderson, though, my favorite, when he suffered frostbite and he was out in 9 games.
Oh, Ricky, the greatest of all time.
Yes.
When we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, we're going to wrap things up. We'll get you set for a big, big show tomorrow. NBA Draft Heavy, and one of our best friends will be in studio with us. We'll be back. It's the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
Show. Here's Pep and Jeff.
Star Wars.
Hey, we do have a sixth branch of government.
Oh, that's right, the Star Wars branch.
Yes, space. It's the Space Force. It's the sixth branch of the military. I couldn't be more excited. I'm joining, my friend. I'm gonna be a Space Ranger. Maybe
we could do the first sports talk show from space.
Me and Buzz Lightyear, we're going to both be the Space Rangers. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to fly my own spaceship. I'm going to be the best space pilot in the universe. I already have a Chewie. His name is Kono. He's he's about 5'7". Maybe I'm giving him a couple. Maybe 5'4". He's my mini. He's like, he's like a big puppy. He's like a mini Chewie. He's going to be my
co-pilot. More like an Ewok.
He's an Ewok. Yeah. Hey.
We're brought to you by Catalano Motors in Corona off of Temescal Canyon Road. If you're shopping for a car, truck, SUV, a sports car, they got it all. Go check them out. And if you mention the Inland Sports Show, you'll get $500 off. Only at Catalano Motors. Please say Inland Sports Show. We're trying to help. We're trying to save you money. They've got great deals. You're going to save thousands already, but mention the Inland Sports Show, and they will take off 500 big ones. Tomorrow on the show, Tracy Murray, NBA and UCLA great, will join us live in studio, Jeff, as we break down the NBA draft pick by pick, and I'm hoping we're going to have some trades to talk about, too.
Some big trades. We're probably going to try to get Mitchell Butler, the agent, to a lot of NBA players. Aim to get him on as well. He can talk about maybe some of his guys that could be possibly drafted in the first 2 rounds.
There's no Quakes tonight.
No.
That only means one thing.
What does that mean?
Crud all night long for Greg Holla. He's going to listen to Creed. He's going to eat his pepperoni pizza. And that's it. He's going to can't even watch the Dodgers. Dodgers don't even play tonight.
He's going to cuddle his cat.
Oh, yeah, Charisse. Him, Charisse, and Crud. That's it.
The tribute.
It's perfect.
Man.
It sounds like a perfect night.
It is a perfect night.
Charisse the cat. All right, the Halos are in action. They'll take it on the Blue Jays. We'll talk about that tomorrow. But again, the Quakes are off back in action against San Jose tomorrow night. This is the Inland Sports Show. We'll join you tomorrow at 3 o'clock as we take a look at the NBA draft. It's going to be a fun show, and I hope you'll join us here on the local sports leader, Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.